Alright, so hi everyone. I'm back with another video. This time I'm doing the SPP paper 2, right? I already did the paper 1 in my last video. This is the paper 2 lah, and it's Addmaths, and it's the trial 2023 SBP paper. Alright, so this is Kertas 2. Let's start. Okay, this set also they never provide the formula, but it's fine. Alright, let's start. Okay, number 1. Let's read the question. Table 1 shows 3 types of bungalows built by Syarikat Pemaju Makmur in Taman Sejahtera, Kuala Lumpur. So there's 3 types of bungalows. The construction cost and selling price are different for each house. So this is the cost. Cost means the money you spend to build the house. Then we call it cost. Selling price is the price that you sell sell to the buyer lah. So like this one is 3 million. Right, it says here 3 million. Okay, what is million? Million means times 10 power 6. Million means times 10 power 6, right? It means you have to move the decimal point to the right 6 times, right? So for example, there's no decimal point here, means the point is here. You have to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, and then 6 zeros. That's what it means, right? So these are all in millions. And then the selling price also, it's million also. So this should also be times 10 power 6, right? So remember that million means times 10 power 6. Okay, so these are the cost and the selling price. Okay, let's keep reading down here. Syarikat Pemaju Makmur has issued a capital of 630 million to build 3 types of houses. Capital is like modal. It means the money is like budget lah. It's like budget. So the Syarikat only issued capital 630 million to build these 3 types of house. At the end of last year, the company successfully sold 140 units of type A. Okay, and then B and C houses with a total profit of 515 million. Right, so the capital is 630 million, but the profit is 550 million. Find the number of units of each type of house that was successfully sold last year. Okay, I'm gonna tell you which chapter is this. This is definitely system of equation. All right, from 4 chapter 3, system of equation, and you have to do the substitution method or the elimination method, right? But this is a story-based question. It means they give you a story, and whenever I teach this type of question, when they give you a story, you always read what they want. All right, it means you ignore the story first. You look at the last baris and see what they want. So what they want now, number of units of each type of house. It means number of unit A, unit B, unit C, right? So what you do is you let whatever they want to find, okay, means you let the final answer become X, Y, Z first, right? So what I'll do is I will let X equals Y equals Z equals, and what they want to find, what is my final answer? Number of units of each type of house, means number of unit A, B, and C lah. So what I will write here is let X equals to number of units. Okay, how do you say it? Number of units of each type of house. So number of unit of house A, right? Oh, I just call it A lah. Okay, and then this one is number of unit of house B, right? And then number of unit of house C, right? So why is it important to write this first? Because when you write this, after you let the X, Y, Z, then only it will become easier to write down the equation, right? Because if we don't write down this first, and then we try to write the equation, it's like very difficult because you don't know what the X, Y, Z represents. But now you know it represents number, not price, not speed, not mass, it's number, right? So it's like bilangan rumah, right? So I remember they got mentioned something about capital just now, and I already said capital is like budget lah. So this is the money that the budget they spend to build these 3 type of house, 630 million. So it means the total cost will be 630 million. It means one house A will cost you 3 million, right? But there is X number of house A, so it will be 3X plus 5Y plus 6Z, right? Do you understand? Because when you take 3 million, it's like the cost to build one house A, right? But there's like X number of it, so it will be 3X lah, and then plus 5Y plus 6Z, and they have to be equal to the capital, which is 630 million, right? Okay, now some student might ask, I thought it's times 10 power 6 because it's like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 like that, right? Okay, you don't have to do that. You know why? Because this is 630 million. 6 is also 6 million. 5 is also 5 million, 3 is also 3 million. So if you write like this, 3 million, and then plus 5 million, and then plus 6 million, you will end up dividing all these numbers by 1 million anyway, and it will end up like this. That is why you don't have to write the million, right? And also it's save a lot of space, right? Because if you write the million here, yeah, it's very long, right? And you already know you can simplify it. You can, how to say, kecilkan become like this. So this is your first equation, right? Now let's keep reading what else they say. At the end of last year, the company successfully sold 140 units of type A, B, and C. So what is 140? The total number of units sold, all right? The total number of units sold. It means x plus y plus z equals to 140. That is my equation 2, right? Because x, y, z already represents number of units. So you just add them all together, equals to 140. And my final equation will be the profit, which is 515 million. Okay, now, what will be my profit for one house A? If I sell one house A, what will be the profit? Will it be 5.5 million? The answer is no, because when you sell for 5.5 million, you will not earn 5.5 million. The profit, it will not be the selling price, because you spend some money to build the house. So to get the profit, you actually have to take 5.5 minus 3. So 5.5 minus 3, let's press calculator, it's 2.5, right? But to be more specific, it's 2.5 billion, right? But you can ignore the million, right? Because everything is in million. That's why we can cancel all together, the billion. Okay, and then for this, you take 9 minus 5, which is 4 million, and then 11 minus 6, which is 5. So these are the profit, right? So you understand why you have to minus. Because, for example, if you sell for 5.5 million, right? But the cost used to build is 3 million. So the money, the profit earned is only 2.5 lah, right? Because this one you minus, right? And what happens when you plus all together? So profit for one house A is 2.5, but you have to times with x, and then plus 4y, and then plus 5z, and the total profit earned is how much? 515 million. But again, you don't have to write the million. You can just write 515, right? Because the 515 million, the 5 is also million, the 4 is also million, 2.5 also million. So you end up, how to say, dividing everyone by 1 million. So you will end up here. So this is your equation 3, right? And now you have 3 equations. Now you can start to find x, y, z, which is the final answer. Because they want to find number of unit, right? That's the x, y, z lah. So now you can do substitution method or elimination method. Okay, personally, I prefer substitution, right? Because substitution is way easier, right? In Addmaths, right? In Addmaths, most of the time I prefer substitution method. And also it's very easy to use substitution method if you start from equation 2, because equation 2 is very easy to make the x single or the y single or the z single, right? So what I will do now is I'll start from equation 2. Okay, why not start from equation 1? Okay, if I start from equation 1 and I use substitution method and I try to make the x single, there will be fraction. If I make y single, also got fraction, z single also got fraction. That's why I start from equation 2, right? I'll show you later. So from equation 2, let's find x, right? You can find y or find z also, it's up to you, but I will find x. It'll be 140 minus y minus z, and I will call this equation 4, right? And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to substitute this 4 inside 1 and inside 3, right? So what I will do now is I will write here, substitute sub 4 into 1, right? And then what happens to equation 1 now? It becomes 3x. And then x I will substitute with 140 minus y minus z, and then plus 5y plus 6z equals to 630, right? And then I will repeat one more time, but this time I will sub 4 into 2. Into 3. Or you cannot sub 4 into 2 because 4 actually come from 2. If you substitute 4 into 2, you will get like this, 0 equals 0, all right? Then it's wrong already. It's wrong. You cannot substitute balik dia sendiri. You cannot substitute into other equation. So since 4 come from 2, it means you have to sub to 1 and 3. So that's why this one 4 into 3. So what is equation 3? 2.5x. X I will substitute 140 minus y minus z, and then plus 4y plus 5z, right? Equals to 515. And now my job is to simplify this and simplify this, all right? Okay, let's do this one first. 3 times 140, I can quickly press calculator. Okay, my calculator give me 420. So I'll just write 420 minus y minus z plus 5y plus 6z equals to 630. And now y hanya boleh buat dengan y, z hanya boleh buat dengan z. So negative y plus 4y is positive 4, negative 1 plus 6 is positive 5. And then number dengan number boleh buat, tapi you kena pindah dulu. It becomes 630 minus 420. So let's press. Okay, the calculator gives me 210. So obviously this is the fifth equation, right? So this, I will call this the fifth equation, all right? And it's the only equation with two unknowns. All the previous equation have three unknowns. This is the only equation where two unknowns. So now my job is to simplify this to get another equation with two unknowns and then do simultaneous one more time. All right, 2.5 times 140. Let's press. Okay, my calculator give me 350. All right, so 350 minus what? 2.5y minus 2.5z plus 4y plus 5z equals to 515. And do like just now lah. Y dengan y boleh buat, z dengan z boleh buat. Negative 2.5 plus 4, I think it's 1.5y. Negative 2.5 plus 5, it will be positive 2.5z. And then number hanya boleh buat dengan number. So the 350, I'll move to the other side. So it becomes 575 minus 350, which is 25. This one is 515, not 575. So let me press. Okay, actually it's 165, right? 165, right? 165. So this one I'll write 165. It means this one is 515, right? It looks like 575, but it's 515. Okay. Okay, now I already get two equation. So now what I need to do now? I need to let's see. I need to do simultaneous one more time, right? Yeah, so how to do simultaneous one more time? I have to do, okay, this one, let's call this equation 6 first. And then now I think I have to do substitution or elimination again. So let's think about this. Which one I will use? Okay, I like substitution more, right? So let's use substitution one more time, and then now we can find. Okay, if I do substitution, I can start from any equation I want. I can start from 5 also can, 6 also can. Let's start from equation 5 lah. And then if I start from equation 5, what happens? Okay lah, let's start from equation 6 lah. Let's start from equation 6. And then I find y, right? Means I make the y single. So if I find y, it will become what? 165 minus 2.5z over 1.5, right? And the reason why I make the y single here is because I want to substitute it back here, right? Of course, you can also do it the other way. You can also start from here, find y ataupun find z, and then substitute back here. Can also, you'll get the same answer, right? So let's call this equation 7. And then now you will write substitute 7 into 5. But 7 actually come from 6, right? The 7 equation come from the equation 6. Now your equation 5 becomes 4y, and then your y, you will just write 165 minus 2.5z over 1.5, and then plus 5z equals to 210. And then now you just keep going, then you can find your z value. So let's press 4 times 165. 660. So it'll be 660 minus 4 times 2.5. It will be 10z, right? But the whole thing have to divide 1.5 plus 5z equals to 210. Okay, take everything times 1.5 because I want to hilangkan the fraction, right? Because if you don't want your equation to have fraction, you just take everything times 1.5. What is 5 times 1.5? 7.5. So just write 7.5z. And then finally it's 210 times 1.5. And then you get 315, right? Okay, if I did everything correctly, I should get my z soon. Negative 10 plus 7.5, it's negative 2.5z. And then 660 move there, become minus. So what is 315 minus 660? You will get negative 345, right? And then finally, to find z, you have to take negative 345, divide negative 2.5, right? Okay, so my z value here is 138, okay? But I feel like I gonna make some mistake here. Did I make any mistake? Let's see. Okay, substitute x into this one, right? So 3x plus 5y plus 6z. 3x plus 5y plus 6 equals 630. 3 times this one. Oh, okay, I know where's my mistake. This one, when you times 3, you should get what? 3 times 140 is 420. 3 times y should be, this one should be negative 3y, right? So yeah, I actually made a mistake here. Okay, so let me just betulkan myself. Careless mistake. Sorry. Now I have to do everything again. Okay. Okay, let's do let's start back here. 3 times 140 is 420. 3 times negative y should be negative 3y. And then 3 times negative z should be negative 3z, right? So let me erase. I need some space. So it'll be negative, it should be negative 3z here, and then plus 5y plus 6z equals 630. Like this, then only it's correct. And then y dengan y boleh buat. So negative 3y plus 5y is just 2y. Negative 3 plus 6, which is plus 3z. And then 630 minus 420, which is 210. Now this one is equation 5, right? And then you substitute the other equation 7 into 5 here, right? So now it becomes 2y, but the y I already find here, right? It's 165, right? So 165 minus 2.5z over 1.5, and then plus 3z equals to 210. So like this, baru betul. Okay, now we can keep going from here. So now we press 2 times 165, which is 330, and then 2 times 2.5, which is 5z, and then over 1.5 plus 3z equals 210. And then the whole equation times 1.5, because I want to hilangkan the fraction. So it will become 330 minus 5z. This one have to times 1.5. So I get 4.5 z. And then 210 also times 1.5. You get 315. So now you can find your z. Just take negative 5 plus 4.5. You can use calculator. You get you will get negative 0.5 z, and then 330 move to the other side. 315 minus 330, I think it's negative 15. So z will be 30 here, right? You will just use calculator to press 1.5, divide 0.5. Okay, once you get your z, how to find your x and y? Well, you can substitute the z into which equation? You find equation yang ada dua unknown. So I think equation 7 is the best one. You can also substitute into equation 6 or equation 5, right? Because if you substitute into equation 5, you can find y also, right? But the best one here to substitute is equation 7 because it's already susun nicely. So let's use equation y. So let's make it smaller. So your equation y will be what? 165. So y will be 165 minus 2.5 times z, and then over 1.5, and the z we know already it's 30, right? So now we just have to press all this inside the calculator, and then we will get the answer for y. So let's press 165 minus 2.5 bracket 30 close bracket equals divide 1.5. Okay, I got 60. So my y is 60, and finally to get my x, I already have yz. How to get x? Well, you can ganti equation yang ada 3 unknown. So yang ada 3 unknown is which equation? Equation 1, equation 2, equation 3, equation 4. So all these equation can help you find x. But the best one to substitute here is equation 4. Alright, because equation 4 is already so nicely. So x equals to 140 minus y minus z. So 140 minus y minus z, which we know already. Y is 60, z is 30. And then now you'll get 50 here, right? So since you already find your x, y, z, now you get your final answer already, right? So find number of units of each type of house. So we cannot write x equals 50, y equals 60, z equals 30. Cannot, we have to write, because what the x, y, z represents? Number, right? Number of units. So we have to write like this. Number of units of type A house equals 50, because x, right? For type A is x. And then number of units of type B house is, what is y? 60, right? Because I already let the number of unit type B becomes y here, right? And then the last one, number of C unit is z. So z must be 30, right? And then here you write number of units of type C house is 30, right? But of course, in exam, don't be lazy. Okay, don't be like me and just write like this. You make sure you write the whole thing, right? Means you write the whole thing like that, right? During exam. So you get 7 marks. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, let's continue with question number 2. Let's read the question. Diagram 1 shows a graph of y equals a power x. Okay, that's the equation of this curve. It's y equals a power x. And then it says here, on diagram 1, sketch the graph of y equals log x base a. So how do we sketch this graph? Okay, I think this equation and this equation have some connection here, right? Otherwise, they will not, because if they want you to sketch a graph, they will just say sketch a graph. Why would they give you original sketching? So this function, this equation and this equation must have some connection. And let me tell you what connection they have. These both equation, they are the inverse of each other, right? They are the inverse of each other, right? It means when we sketch this graph, we can actually draw a reflection of this curve on this line. This line, we call it y equal x, right? Because when two graphs are inverse of each other, it means they are reflection of each other on this line, right? This y equals x line, right? But I want to prove to you why this and this will have an inverse, right? So how can I prove to you that this y equals a power x, the inverse of this is this? So we just use inverse. So y equals a power x, right? A power x. So it's actually macam mana? It's actually like fx equals to a power x. Okay, y and fx is the same thing. And now I try to find f inverse x, right? And how you find f inverse? Okay, the method that I use is always like this. Let the pan equals y. So let fx equals y, and then belakang pun equals y, which is a power x equals y. And then I can find x here. When the f I move to the other side, it will become f inverse y, right? It means x is actually f inverse y. So how do we find f inverse y? By finding x. So let's find x now. How to find x? Your x is at the power. So what you should do is you should tambah log, right? So when you tambah log, you can tambah any base you want, right? But I will use base a. Okay, later you will know why I use base A, right? You can even use base 10, right? But I use base A. Later you will know why. Okay, so here I write a power x, and then the x can bring in front, and then the y I can write this, right? Because power log, kalau log number ada power boleh letak depan. So now it becomes x equals to log y base A, and don't forget x is actually your f inverse y. So if your f inverse y is log y base A, what is your f inverse x? Log x base A. So I just proved to you that if the y equation is a power x, then the inverse of it will be log x base a. Can you see? If your y equation is a power x, the inverse of it will be log x base a. It means this equation and this equation, they are really the inverse of each other, because I just proved to you here already, right? But why I choose to tambah log base a? Why not base 10? Because I already saw here, right? Like, because if I want to prove to you that the inverse of this is this, I have to use base a, right? Because if I write base 10, it means here I'll end up with log x base 10, right? So yeah, so that's why I'll put base a, right? Actually, you can put any base you want. Okay, like even base 3 also can, base 5 also can, right? But this is how I prove to you that they are the inverse of each other. So, and since they are inverse of each other, it means when we sketch this curve, it will be the reflection, right? So this curve punya reflection will be here, right? But let's draw it nicely. And also the coordinate also, we have to make sure it's correct. Okay, did they provide me space here? Okay, they never provide me space. So okay lah, let's just draw it here. So let's say we have a point here, 0.64.0. What do you think when this point reflect? It will be somewhere here, right? Somewhere here, right? And guess what's the coordinate of this point? It will be 4.00.6, right? It means originally your object x, this is your x coordinate, this is your y coordinate. Means yeah, your object is 0.6, your image is 4. But when you do inverse, your y coordinate become, your object become the image, and your image become the object. Means the x coordinate and y coordinate terbalik already. That's why it becomes like this. So can you tell me this is 0, 1, right? So what happens when you reflect? It will become 1, 0. Do you agree? You become 1, 0, right? So that is why this is the 2 point. But you don't draw like this. You don't draw a straight line like this. I told you already it should be a curve, right? So this will look like this, right? And then this will look like this. Okay? Okay, I didn't draw it nicely. Let's draw it one more time. So let's make it like lebih kurang sama. So this one, okay, this one, I think it's here. Oh, okay. Let's try one more time. Okay, this line is like more to the right. Okay, I think like this is good enough, right? Yeah. So this one is 1, okay, ataupun 1, 0, okay, 1, 0. And then this one is 4.0, 0.6, right? So yeah, okay, so like this. Okay lah, I think good enough, right? Just make sure they are the reflection of each other on, on, on this line, right? The y equals x line, right? Okay, number 2, give justification for the sketch. Okay, give justification, it means like give a reason, right? Give a reason. So what's the reason? What's the reason that you can sketch like this? So I can write my reason here, right? So I'll just write y equals to log x base a, right? Which is this equation is actually the what? Is the inverse, is inverse of the y equals a power x, right? So okay, therefore both graphs are reflection of each other on the line y equals x. All right. So give justification for the sketch. So I think if you write like this, it's good enough, right? Do you understand what I write? So since this equation and this equation, they are the inverse of each other, therefore both graphs will be the reflection of each other on the line y equals x. All right? Because when they have inverse relation, their shape will be the reflection of each other, all right, on this line. And the coordinate will be terbalik. Like if it's 0.64, after reflect it will be 4, 0.6, and so on. Yeah. Okay. I think it's good enough. Now we can do B question. Okay, let's do B question here. So the B question 1 says simplify this thing. Okay, if you want to simplify, we have to check the log base, right? If the base is not same, we cannot do anything. So this is base 3, this is base 9. So the first step here is to change base. So log base 3, I will leave it, and then base 9 I'll change to base 3. Because 3 and 9, they both can change to base 3, right? So the best base to convert now is to change everything to base 3. So now this thing will become log base 3, log base 3. And do you remember the formula to change base? How do you change base in log? You will write the log number, which is the x square atas, and then the log base 9 you will tulis bawah. And as for the base, you can put any number you want, just make sure they are the same. And since I want base 3 now, so of course I will put 3. Okay, log 9 base 3 you can cut become 2, right? Because 9 is 3 power 2. And then 2 bring it in front, and then log 3 cut. That's why the whole thing left with 2. And how do we continue from here? Let's see. I think these 2 you can bring it in front also, and then you can cut with the down here, right? So that's the plan now, to cut it. All right, so log 3x minus 1. Okay, this 2 is the power, but power, when the log number has power, you can bring it to the front like this, right? And what's the reason why I bring it to the front? Because I know I can cut, and then I'll left with log 3x minus 1 base 3 minus log x base 3. Same base already. So same base, separate log minus same base. What we can do, we can make it into single log, divide, right? Do you remember this formula? If we have log a base okay, log a base m minus log b base m, right? And if same base, you can become log m a over b like this. It means single log divide can change to separate log minus. So separate log minus can also change to single log bahagi, but you have to make sure same base lah. If tak sama base, you cannot merge. You cannot merge them together. So since this is base sama, they are both base 3. That's why we can merge them together. And when we merge them together, it will become divide, right? Why divide? Because minus, right? So this is how you simplify lah. Sudah siap already, alright? So simplify means you change supaya dia jadi single log. This one lah, single log, alright? Simplify. Okay, sudah siap. Let's do question 2. Hence, solve this equation. Log 3x minus 1 base 3 minus log x squared base 9 equals -1. Did you notice that this thing looks exactly like this? It's the same, right? You see? It looks exactly the same. So this whole thing, you already do it already. You already simplify. So why not you just take your last question punya answer, log 3x minus 1 over x, this whole thing, terus equals -1, right? Because you already know when you simplify this, you're going to end up with this, right? So just take this whole thing equals to -1. And now you can solve for x, very easy. Log something base something equals to something, you can do anti-log. Okay, you can do anti-log. Anti-log means you hilangkan the log. And how you hilangkan? You will pindah the log base to the other side. Once you pindah the log base to the other side, the log base becomes the number base, and the -1 will become power. And then the log will hilang already, right? That's why it's called anti-log. Right? You jadikan dia tak ada log. Now you can find your x. 3 power -1 means what? It means 1 over 3, right? So 3x minus 1 over x is equivalent to 1 over 3. And now since you have something over something equals something over something, single fraction on both sides, you can darab silang. Okay, when you have single fraction both sides, you can cross multiply. So 3 times 3x will be 9x minus 3 equals to x. Therefore, your let's continue here. Plus x move there become minus. So 9 minus 1, which is 8x, equals to 3, because 3 move here become positive. So x equals to 3 over 8. Right? So that should be the answer. Okay. Okay, let's continue with number 3. Diagram 2 shows triangle PQR. Okay, let's check PQR triangle. Okay, the straight line PU and SR intersect at point T. PR, wait, what? PU. Okay, PU and SR intersect at point T. Okay, vector TR is 4 or 5 SR. So I think this is vector chapter, right? So can you tell me this information is trying to give us the what? It's trying to give us the ratio, right? And it's trying to give us the ratio for TR and SR. So if they say TR is 4 or 5 SR, it means TR equals to 4 over 5 SR. And the over 5 is divide. You can actually move here, become times, right? And when you change to this form, you can baca the ratio. How you baca? Dalam dengan dalam, luar dengan luar. It's like a rainbow shape, right? You don't baca TR5 like that. Salah. Okay. There always, you must read like this. So TR ratio is 4, SR ratio is 5. So let's go to TR and label 4, right? And then let's go to SR. The SR ratio is 5. But if you look at this, this is not even SR, this is ST, right? SR is the whole thing. It means the whole thing is 5. So to get here, I have to take 5 minus 4. So I'll get 1. All right, understand? Make sure you know how to read the ratio, right? So a lot of students, they cannot do vector is because they never learn how to read baca ratio. Okay, let's practice one more time. PU equals 2 PT. You teach me how to baca the ratio. If there's no number here means what? 1, right? And how you want to baca? Dalam dengan dalam, luar dengan luar is like rainbow. PU is 2, PT is 1, right? So the PU ratio is 2, PT ratio is 1. That's what it means. So PU ratio 2. So PU, the whole thing ratio is 2, and then PT ratio is 1. So here is 1. But since the whole thing is 2, it means I can take 2 minus 1, I get here. It means T is actually the midpoint of PU. Because if the ratio is 1, 1, then it's midpoint already. It means this vector and this vector, they are sama panjang, right? And also they are parallel and sama panjang, right? Okay, now let's label the next information. Vector PR is X. So the arrow have to point to R and then write X. And then vector PS is Y. So this is PSY. Okay, can I find RS now? Yes, right. Very easy because I just take RP plus PS and I have both vector already. Okay. Or you can also find SR, right? But let's see what they want. So A question 1, oh, they don't want RS, they want PT. Ayo, how to do? Okay, let's find vector PT. I'm gonna do it here lah. Right. So question 1, vector PT. Okay, let's go and find where is PT. PT is this guys, right? And I already said you can find RS just now. Okay. So what you can do to find PT, you can take PR plus RT, right? PR plus RT, right? But you will realize you don't have RT later, but it's fine. Okay, you have the ratio ma. Okay, how to find PR? First of all, PR is vector X lah. RT, can you see you don't have, right? But can you tell me RT is anak siapa? RT is anak siapa? RT is anak RS, right? Betul tak? RT adalah anak kepada RS. And RT is actually 4 portion. 4 portion out of 5 of RS. It means RT is actually 4 over 5 RS. I repeat one more time. R to T is 4 portion, but R to S is 5 portion. So R to T is 4 over 5 RS. And I already tell you in the beginning, you can find RS easily because RS is RP plus PS. So it's negative X plus Y, right? Why negative X? Because P to R is X. So R to P will be negative X and then plus Y, all right? Now you continue from here, you will get X minus 4 or 5x, just expand normally, and then plus 4 or 5y. And then what is 1 minus 4 or 5? It's 1 over 5x plus 4 or 5y, right? You can use your calculator to help you, and you should get the same answer. Okay, now for question 2, I'll do it here. Okay, question 2, let's see what they want. They want vector RU. So let's find vector RU. Okay, how to find vector RU? Let's go and find where's RU. RU is here. Okay, there's no ratio given for RU, right? And so how to find? You have to use jalan lain lah. So you have to use RTTU or maybe RPPU, or got a lot of ways to find lah. But which one is the best way? Which one is the, how to say, the easiest working ataupun the paling simple one? I think it's RPPU. You know why? Because RP I have already, and then PU you just take PT times 2 because PT vector I find it already, right? So to get PU vector is very easy because PT and TU they have this ratio, right? So if you have PT, if you have PT means you have TU already, right? So actually it's easy if you find RP plus PU. Of course, you can also do RT plus TU, but I think that one a bit difficult because RT you have to find it, and then TU, okay lah, can also lah. I think can also. Actually you do both also can lah. Okay, but I feel like I want to do RT TU. Yeah. Okay, but if you want to do RP PU, can also. You'll get the same answer. Okay, let's do like this RT TU. Okay, what would be the RT vector? RT vector will be 4 over 5 RS, which I already do, which is 4 over 5 negative x plus y, which is negative 4 over 5x plus 4 over 5y. This is my RT vector. And then plus TU. Okay, TU vector I don't have, right? But look at this. The TU vector is ratio 1. And guess what? PT also ratio 1. And because T is the midpoint of this, it means the PT vector is 1 over 5x plus 4 over 5y. TU vector also will be the same. 1 over 5x plus 4 over 5y. Why they are the same? Because they have the same ratio. It means these two vectors, they are parallel and they are sama panjang. And if two vectors have same direction and same magnitude, it means they are the same. They are the same vector, right? That is why I can tiru PT vector for my TU vector. And then now x dengan x boleh buat, y dengan y boleh buat. What is negative 4 over 5 plus 1 over 5? Negative 3 over 5x. What is 4 over 5y plus 4 over 5y? It's 8 over 5y, right? So this is the answer. Okay, and if you use the other jalan, which is RPPU, I'm sure you get the same, right? So yeah. Okay, let's go to B. B says what? Okay, B, I think I will do it up here. Okay. Okay, let's read the question. Given vector PQ is HY. Okay, let's write it down. Vector PQ is HY. PQ is where? Here, right? Okay, that's okay. And then RQ equals to KRU. Okay, let's write down this also. KRU. And then it says where H and K are constant. Okay, ini tak penting. Find the value of H and K. Okay, how to find H and K? Okay, in vector, I always teach students the same thing. If you want to find H and K, it means you want the H and K to be in one equation, right? In other chapter, usually my advice is in one equation lebih sikit unknown lebih bagus. In other chapters, right? Like for example, you want to find x, right? It means it's better if your equation only have x, right? Then only the chance of you finding x is like much more easier, right? If you have x, y, z in one equation, it's very difficult. But in vector, it's different. In vector, you actually want your equation to have many unknown, right? It means if you want to find h and k, you will try to make h and k inside one equation, right? But how to do that? How to make h and k inside one equation? Okay, look at this. PQ is HY, RQ is KRU. So this is PQ, this is RQ. They actually have some connection. PQ and RQ. Let's see. PQ is this line. RQ is this line. So what is the missing line here? PR, right? So I can actually write like this. Okay, let's think about this. RQ plus QP equals to RP like this, right? Okay, of course, some students will say, hey, sir, what if I write PQ plus RQ equals to PQ plus QR, PQ plus QR equals to PR. Can also, because like this also, you will have H and K in one equation, right? My mission now is to make the H and K into one equation, right? Because in vector, it's actually good if you have whatever you want to find in one equation, right? Because you can compare the coefficient later, right? So you can also write like this, but if you write like this, make sure the PQ you put HY, the QR you have to put negative KUR, okay? Negative KUR, okay? Because QR and RQ you have to terbalik, right? So equals to PR, can also. Okay, but I will do it like this lah. RQ equal, plus QP. So if I do it like this, what I put for my RQ, it will be KRU. And then what I put for my QP, negative HY, right? Why negative? Because PQ is HY. So QP will be negative HY lah. And then equals to RP, which you can see from the diagram. PR is X, so RP must be negative X. Okay, but this is not the only way to do it. I already mentioned you can also do it in the other way, which is you can write PQ plus QR equals to PR. Can also, right? You will get the same answer. Okay, what is K times RU? The RU vector, do I have it? Yes, I find it just now. Do you remember? This is RU, right? So RU vector is negative 3 over 5x plus 8 over 5y. And then plus minus, which is minus HY equals to negative X. Okay, for a lot of students, they will look at this, they will get scared because they will see like, hey, why so many unknown? Got X, got Y, got H, got K. But in vector, it's actually, you want the equation to be like that, to be full with unknown, okay? And you can find it, trust me. So what you do is you take your K expand, you get negative 3 over 5 KX plus 8 over 5 KY minus HY equals to negative X. And what you do now is you will factorize out the Y because you want to compare the coefficient of X both sides later. So the X here, I will leave it, but the Y later, I have to compare with coefficient of Y at the back. right? Which is 0, right? So let's take out the y first. So now when you take out the y, factorize out the y, you left with 8 over 5k minus h equals to x, negative x, right? So what's the reason of me taking out the xy like that? So that I can compare the coefficient side by side. How do we compare? On this side, the coefficient of x is negative 3 over 5k, but on the other side, the coefficient of x is negative 1. So you compare the both coefficients together. Then what about the coefficient of y? On this side, the coefficient of y is 8 over 5k minus h, but on the other side, there's no y, right? It means the coefficient is 0y, right? It means the whole thing equals to 0, right? The whole thing equals to 0. Or there's also another way to do this, which is you can also pindah yang ada x on one side, yang ada y on one side, and then take both coefficient equals 0. Alright, I repeat one more time. Another method to do this is you pindah yang ada x punya letak on one side, yang ada y on the other side, and then take both xy punya coefficient equals 0. Can also, you will get the same answer. Alright, okay, let's try to find k now. Negative 1 times 5 over 3 which is 5 over 3 lah. The negative will hilang lah, become positive. And then I will substitute the k inside here. Now you will left with, let's continue here, it will be 8 over 5k, which is 5 over 3 minus h equals 0. The h, I can just move it here, become positive, and then 5 cut already, left with 8 over 3, right? So it means your h is 8 over 3 and your k is 5 over 3. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, let's continue. Okay, number 4, let's go. Diagram 3 shows an electric wire between pole A and pole B, which is 5 meter apart. Let's label the 7 meter. A and B 7 meter. Oh, they already labeled for me. So the distance between them is 7 meter. The height of both poles is 10 meter. Okay, I can see it. Okay, let's see what else. On a certain day, the electric wire has sagged and forms a parabolic shape. So this is a quadratic curve, right? Because the name of this curve is called parabola. So they already said parabolic shape such that the minimum height of the wire from the ground is 3 over 4 of height of the pole. Okay, I don't understand. Let's read one more time. Minimum height of wire, minimum height of wire from the ground. So the minimum height, definitely it will be this point. The distance is talking about this distance, right? This is the minimum height, right? Because this height will not be shorter than this, right? So if I want the minimum height of wire from the ground, is definitely from the minimum point vertical distance to the ground. It's definitely talking about this distance. So the minimum height of wire from the ground is 3 over 4 height of the pole. So let's take 3 over 4 times 10. What I get? I will get, let's press 10 times 3 divided 4. It will be 7.5, right? And since this one is in meter, this height must be meter also, right? It means I actually know the y coordinate of this point. It's 7.5, right? Because if the height here, okay, wait, we cannot assume, right? Unless we know A is the origin, right? Unless A is the origin. If A is the origin, then only we can assume like that, right? Okay, let's not assume first lah. Let's just label like this and then keep reading first. Let's see what they want. Okay, let's scroll down a bit and see what they want. Okay, let's read question A. Find the equation of the parabolic shape. Okay, this one. Electric wire in the vertex form. Okay, this is vertex form where P and Q are constant. Assume A as the point of origin. So they actually says A is the origin. So we can draw a cross at A. So this is my y-axis, this is my y-axis, and definitely the coordinate here will be 0, 0, right? And now we can know the thingy here, which is 10 also, right? And then we also know here, which is 7, because here to here distance is 7. And then the coordinate here will be 7, 10, right? Because they are actually same height, right? These two poles. And guess what? This point, we call it the minimum point. And we don't know the x coordinate, but we know the y coordinate. The y coordinate is because the height here is 7.5, right? So if I tarik here means the distance here is also 7.5. So the y coordinate is 7.5 lah, right, in meters. But the x coordinate I don't know, okay? But I think I can find it easily, the x coordinate, right? Because the x coordinate you can use the x-intercept. Okay, but this curve don't have x-intercept, right? But if you look carefully at this and this, can you see they have the same y coordinate, which is 10, right? This is 0, 10. This is 7, 10. So to find the axis of symmetry, to find the middle, you can actually take 0 plus 7 divide 2, right? It means if you want to find axis of symmetry, it doesn't necessarily has to be the x-intercept plus together bahagi 2. It can also be any point that have the same y coordinate. Any 2 points that have the same coordinate, just take the x coordinate tambah bahagi 2. So it'll be 0 bahagi 7 punya middle, which is 0 plus 7 divided 2, which is 3.5. So definitely this is 3.5, right? So now you have your minimum point. So now it's actually very easy to convert to vertex form, right? Because you know your P and Q already. So for your first question, where should I do it? I think I'll just do it here lah. So your first question, I'll do it here. So in vertex form, right? So fx equals to ax minus p squared plus q, but you already know it will be a I don't know, but the p and q I know, right? Because the minimum point is 3.575. So when you put it in, you have to put negative, right? And then 3.5. Okay, let's change to fraction now. Let's change to fraction. What is 3.5 in fraction? You can use calculator to help you convert. 3.5 and then shift ABC. 7 over 2, right? 7 over 2. And then 7.5 in fraction is how much? Let's use calculator. 15 over 2, right? So this is the vertex form lah. So when you put the P, you have to write minus 7 over 2. And then when you put the Q, you have to write plus 15 over 2. Okay? Wait, why I have to put minus here? Because whenever we take out the x coordinate, we always have to tukar tanda, right? That is why negative 7 2 becomes 7 over 2. And then the y coordinate just follow. Okay? Okay, but there's still one more thing to find, which is the A, right? Because without the A, the equation is not complete. All right. So how to find A? Okay, do you realize to find A, you just need to have x and y. Fx and y is the same thing. Eh? But how to get your x and y? Well, you can just substitute any point along the curve inside the equation, right? But you have to make sure you substitute the point yang ada passes through. Only point yang ada passes through boleh substitute dalam. So for example, 0, 0 cannot, 7, 0 cannot, because these 2 points started passes through curve. So which point got passes through curve? 0, 10, 7, 10, and this one, the 7 over 2, 15 over 2. But I would recommend not using this, because if you use this point, what will happen to your x? It would be 7 over 2 minus 7, 2, which is 0, and then 0 squared is 0, and then 0 times a is a. So I would recommend not using this point, because if you use this point, your a will disappear. But you want to find a now. So if you use the minimum point, actually is not recommended, because if you use this point, even though got passes through, but I already tell you why cannot, because when you sub it in, the A will disappear, right? So it's better to use 710 or 010. Let's use 010. But even if you want to use 710 can also, you'll get the same answer. Okay, x is 0, y is 10. So it'll be 10 equals to A bracket, the x I sub 0 minus 7 over 2 square plus 15 over 2. Okay, okay, 0 minus 7 over 2 is negative 7 over 2, and then square is 49 over 4. A, all right? And then the 15 over 2, I can move to the other side. Let's press calculator. 10 minus 15 over 2. I think it's 5 over 2. And then now I can find my A, which is I take answer times 4 divide 49, right? Times 4 divide 49. So my calculator give me 10 over 49, right? So this is my A. So what is my vertex form? Fx equals to A, which is 10 over 49, and then bracket x minus 7 over 2 square, and then plus q, which is plus 15 over 2, right? So I think this is the answer for soalan A. Okay, now let's continue with second question. Okay, sorry. Okay, second question says what? Hence, if a bird is perched on the wire at point C, which is 100 cm horizontal from pole B, determine height of bird from the horizontal ground. Okay, there is a bird. So let's go and look for the bird. So what happens? The bird is perched on the wire at point C. So this is the location of the bird, point C, which is 100 cm horizontal from B. So this is the pole B, right? So horizontal distance here is 100 cm, right? But everything is in meter just now. So 100 cm is actually equivalent to 1 meter, right? So the distance here is 1 meter. It means here must be 6 then, right? Because 7 minus 1 is 6. So the y coordinate of point C is 6, right? And then what else? Which is 100 cm horizontally from B. Okay, determine the height of bird from horizontal ground. So how to find height of bird? Okay, sorry, this is not y coordinate 6, this is x coordinate 6, right? Because if I say this distance from here to here is 1 meter, right? It means the x coordinate of here is 7, the x coordinate is 6, right? Then what about the y coordinate? I don't know, right? This one I don't know, right? But I can find it easily, yeah. So what they want to find now? The height of the bird from horizontal ground, right? It means they want to find the y coordinate of the bird lah, right? Yeah, because when you get the y coordinate of the bird, it means you get this height here, which is exactly the height of the bird from the ground. But how do I get the y coordinate? Well, point C got passes through this curve. So what do you think? If the point got passes through, it means what? We can substitute the 6 inside the curve equation. So it'll be f6 equals to 10 over 49. And then the 6x, I will substitute 6 minus 7 over 2 square plus 15 over 2. And once you press all of this, you'll get the y coordinate. And that y coordinate will be your final answer. All right? Okay, let's press 6 minus 7 over 2 first. And then square. And then times 10 over 49 plus 15 over 2. Okay, my calculator give me 430 over 49. But I think in this case, if you convert to fraction, it's 8.7755. So it will be 8.776, right? So you can write 8.776, or you can also write in fraction, which is 430 over 49. And don't forget to write meter lah. Okay, don't forget to write meter, because this is the height of bird and everything is in meter in the story. So yeah, this is how you get 2 marks here, 3 marks here, and I think that's all, right? Oh, there's still a B question here. Okay, let's read the question. If the weather gets warmer, it is found that the electric wire becomes more sagging than the original position, and it affects the change in the equation of electric wire in the vertex form, which is Fx equals to Ax minus B squared plus Q. What remains unchanged? Okay, what is the old equation? The old equation, the vertex form, which is this one, 10 over 49. Let's write it down. 10 over 49. And then this one will become what? 7 minus x minus 7 over 2 square. All right. And then plus 15 over 2, right? And then what happens now is the weather gets warmer. And when the weather gets warmer, the electric wire becomes more sagging. So let's go to the diagram. Okay, let's erase all this. So what happens if the electric wire becomes more sagging? It means your minimum point punya y coordinate will change lah. Because if this one, imagine it becomes more sagging. Like let's say it becomes like this, right? Okay, my drawing is very ugly lah, but it should be symmetrical, right? Let's say it's like this. So this point, originally it's what is it? 7 over 2, 15 over 2, right? But the x coordinate will still be same. It will still be 7 over 2. But the y coordinate will change, right? It's no longer 15 over 2. It becomes how to say? Dia sudah tukar lah. Dia sudah tukar. So let's think about this. What remains unchanged, right? Unchanged means yang mana yang tak tukar. So you already know which one remain unchanged? The axis of symmetry lah. Yeah. So we can say that the axis of symmetry remain unchanged, right? And I think you can even write down the axis of symmetry, right? So axis of symmetry remains unchanged, x equals 7 over 2, like that, right? Okay, what about this value? Will this value change? The axis means the x coordinate of the turning point will not change, but what about the y coordinate? It will change, right? Because I already draw for you. Yeah, can you see? It's like the y coordinate sudah jadi lebih rendah, so the height is like changed already, right? Then what about the a? Okay, a lot of students will thought the A will change because they will say like, okay, no, silap. A lot of students will thought that the A will also remain unchanged. Okay, actually the A will change. Look carefully. Even though these two shapes, they are both U shape, but this bawah punya curve, can you see it's wide? Okay, I shouldn't say wider, but the width change. The width of the curve change. And if the width of the curve change, it means the A also will change actually, right? It will not change to negative, okay? It will still be positive, but it will change. Yeah, it will change to other numbers yang positive, right? Because you can clearly see the, how to say? The width of the curve change already. Because if it becomes more sagging, it means definitely the width of the curve change, right? Even though it's still U-shaped, they both have positive A value, but they will not have the same positive A value. That is why when they ask you which remains unchanged, only the axis of symmetry remain unchanged. The rest all will change, right? And you get 1 mark for this. Okay. All right, let's continue with number 5. I think this is trigonometry, right? So first question they ask proving, and then second question is the sketch, and then cari number of solution lah. Okay, you're very familiar with this question, right? I do with you a lot in class. So let's do A here, right? Because we have a lot of space here. So for proving question, we always start from the more, how to say? The more complicated side. So which side looks more complicated? The left-hand side or the right-hand side? Left-hand side, right? So we'll start from left-hand side, and then we'll write down the left-hand side. 1 minus cos 2x minus sine 2x over the whole thing, sine x minus cos x, right? Okay, so if I start from left hand side, it means I have to convert to the right hand side. So my right hand side will be my final working. Okay, what is my right hand side now? It's just 2 sine x. So how to convert this whole thing becomes 2 sine x? Okay, of course you have to hafal the formula lah. The formula you need to hafal is double angle, basic identity, all those things, right? Okay, I'm gonna tell you first of all, the sine 2x can only change to one thing. Sine 2x can only change to 2 sine x cos x, right? I know this because I hafal already. Oh, by the way, this formula is given in exam. Okay, the double angle formula. And then over, right? Sine x minus cos x, I don't think you can do anything with that. So just leave it. Now the problem is the cos 2x, because cos 2x you can convert into three things, right? You can convert into cos square x minus sine square x, or you can also convert to 2 cos square x minus 1, or it's 1 minus 2 sine square x, okay? And I'm gonna tell you that you should convert to this one. Yeah, this one, 1 minus 2 sine square, okay? I'll show you why later. 1 minus 2 sine square x, right? So what happens if you convert to 1 minus 2 sine square? The 1 minus 1 will become minus 1, and then minus minus become plus 2 sine square x minus 2 sine x cos x, right? And then 1 minus 1 becomes 0, right? So this one, let's write down first. So 1 minus 1 becomes 0. So you're left with 2 sine square x minus 2 sine x cos x, right? Over sine x minus cos x. But what you want now on the other side is just 2 sine x. So there must be some ways to potong this. And you can actually potong because you can, but you have to factorize first, right? So what happens here is you factorize out the 2, right? But don't just factorize out the 2. The sine x also you can factorize, right? And can you see the 2 sine x is exactly this, right? So now you understand why I choose to convert to this. But of course, you want to convert to this can also, right? But your working will be longer. Your working will be much more, how to say, much more panjang. But you will get there eventually also. You will get to the final answer also. All right. What happens if you take out 2 sine x? What's left here? Sine x, right? Because 2 sine square, what is sine square? Sine square means sine x darab sine x. So when you take out 1 sine x, there should be another sine x left here. And then 2 sine x cos x, I take out the 2 sine x, so I left with minus cos x. And then yang bawah is sine x minus cos x. And now you saw can potong, so cut, you left with 2 sine x, which is exactly the right hand side, right? And since I already changed the left hand side to right hand side, now I can write the word proven, right? Because they want me to prove, right? So proven, right? That's how you do proving question. So 2 marks for this, right? And then this one in the graph part is like 7 marks worth. Okay, so let's do B1 first. Okay, B1, they want me to sketch the graph, right? Okay, before I sketch, I think I have to do some working first, all right? Because look at this. Y equals modulus. Okay, 1 minus cos 2x minus sine 2x minus, isn't it the same thing as this, right? So this whole thing, straight away convert to 2 sine x lah. So it will be modulus 2 sine x and then plus 1, because this whole thing is like 2 sine x, right? And how to sketch this? First we have to conteng first. Okay, conteng means you don't draw the real one, you just draw yang testing punya, testing. So when you draw this, what it will look like? Sine x means it will look like a wave shape. Okay, like a wave. It means one cycle in 360. And then here will be 0. The amplitude will be 1, -1. But since they got put 2 in front, means the amplitude must be 2, -2. And then modulus, what happens? Modulus means yang bawah kena diataskan like this, right? So now the red color is actually your answer. But now they say plus 1. Plus 1 means what? It means this one plus 1, this one plus 1, this one plus 1. So 2 plus 1, 3, 0 plus 1, 1, -1, right? So this is how your curve looks like, right? So it will look something like this, like this. Here is 0, 1, 2, 3. And then it will start from 1, right? And then you will go up to 3 and then go up like this. And then, yeah, this is the answer, right? So lebih kurang macam tu. So, but usually, okay lah, if you confident, you want to terus lukis boleh. But usually when I teach, I always say, find the points, right? To avoid making mistakes, I always say, find the points. So how do we find points? We will circle the sine x here and then temporarily change to 0, 1, and -1, right? So now it become when this whole thing becomes 0 means what? 0 times 2, 0, modulus 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. So when y equals 1, and then modulus 2 sine x plus 1 equals 1, right? Because if y equals 1 means the whole thing equals 1. So how do you find sine x? It will be modulus 2 sine x, 1 minus 1 is 0, and then pindah modulus. When you pindah modulus, got plus minus, but 0 Tak ada plus minus. Negative 0 is still 0. That's why you can just ignore the negative answer. Just write 0. So sine x equals to 0 divided by 2, which is 0. Sine 0, this is special case. So it's 0, 180, 360. Right? You cannot use calculator to tekan shift sine 0. They will not give you the 3 answers. Because this one is special case. Special case, you have to half. Right? Now let's do when y equals 1. Let's try to guarantee this whole thing with 1 now. So 1 times 2, 2. Modulus 2, 2 also, and then 2 plus 1 is 3. So it means the y equals to 3. And if y equals to 3, the whole thing here equals to 3 also. So modulus 2 sine x plus 1 equals to 3. Then how do you find x? Okay, first we will pindah the 1 first. So modulus 2 sine x, 3 minus 1 is 2, and then now pindah modulus. Okay, now when you pindah modulus, there will be 2 answers, 1 positive, 1 negative. So it will be 2 sine x equals to 2, and the other one is negative 2. So how do you find sine x? 2 divided 2 is 1, and then negative 2 divided 2 negative 1. Okay, this one is also special case. For special case, cannot use calculator, you can hafal. Shift sine 1, 90. Shift sine negative 1, 270. Right? Okay, after we have this, hey, then what about negative 1? Okay, negative 1, no need to ganti this already. Because when you ganti negative 1, what happens? Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Modulus negative 2 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. Can you see it's the same as here? That's why it means I'm already done with the working. Now we can sketch already. Of course, I know some students, they don't like to do all this, right? They want to straight away go to working. Yeah, can also. Can also. It's up to you, right? It's just that I teach this method in my class for weak students, right? Ataupun for student yang tak boleh imagine mana kena letak points, right? That's why then you can use this method, right? But if you feel like you can do it without this working, you can straight away sketch and then go ahead, right? It's up to you, right? So feel free to how to say, to do it fast, right? You don't have to do it slow. Okay, so but for me, I will always try to be safe and find out all the coordinate, right? Okay, now my y is 1, 3. It means my x-axis I can put paling bawah pun tak apa, right? Because I only use y coordinate 1 and 3 only. So this will be my x, and my y coordinate I only use 1 to 3. So I will label this one 1, 2, 3, right? So this will be my y. And for my x coordinate, mesti akan ada 4 potongan, 90, 180, 270, 360. And in SPM, they always like to ask in radian. It means they want it in 2 pi, right? So make sure you know how to write the degree in radian. So this must be 360. 360 is 2 pi, and then half of it will be pi. This one pi over 2, this one 3 pi over 2. Okay, so let's plot our points. When y equals to 1, x equals to 0, 180, 360. When y equals to 1, x equals 0, 180 means pi, and then 360 means 2 pi, right? And then when y equals to 3, x equals 90, which is here. 90 means pi over 2. And then when y equals 3, x is also 270, which is 3 over 2, which is like this, right? But you don't go and draw like this, please. Okay? Ataupun some student, maybe they draw something like this. Like this, wow, like this. Hey, no lah. Look carefully at the one you conteng, how it looks like. It looks like a McDonald's symbol, right? So when you draw also, it has to look like a McDonald's symbol, like this, like this, like this, right? Ayo, why so ugly? Okay, let me draw one more time. Oops. Okay, like this. Then like this. Okay, something like this lah. Let's cantikkan sini. Okay, lebih kurang lah. I think it's good enough. Yeah. Okay, so this is the equation for y equals modulus 2 sine x plus 1, right? So this is the working. Okay, hope you understand. So it means when we sketch, we have to conteng first, right? Because if we don't conteng first, even if we do this working, we will not know how to join the points, right? Like for example, if the point is like this, like there's so many ways to join, right? Some student might join like this, right? Some student might join like this. So to make sure we know how the shape looks like always, we have to conteng, means we testing the, how to say, we conteng first lah, we testing first. Okay, means we draw satu yang bukan sebenar punya, we just conteng punya. And then bila kita lukis sebenar punya, then only we refer to the conteng version to draw it. Then you will get it correct. Actually, I'm not happy with how I draw it. Okay, my draw is like so not bad. It's like not balanced, right? So this one is like very big, but then the other one is very small. So can I draw it one more time? Okay, there should be a point here, right? Okay, I think good enough. Okay, so this is the part B 1 question. So 4 marks for this. Okay, now we continue with question 2. Okay, question 2 says what? By using the same axis, draw a suitable straight line to find the number of solution. What is number of solution? It means number of intersection point. This equation. So second question, let's write down the equation. Modulus 6 pi sine x close modulus plus 3 pi equals 3x. And then they say for 0 until 2 pi. Okay, how do we do this question? So I remember I teach this in class before. So how to do this question? When they ask you to draw a suitable straight line means you have to draw a line here, right? And then find how many intersection points. But of course, you cannot simply draw like that. You have to find out the equation of straight line and then find two coordinates and then plot. Then only you can draw the line. But how to get your equation of straight line? Your equation of straight line must looks like this: y equals mx plus c, right? But this equation it didn't even have y, right? So kalau tak ada y macam mana nak tahu equation saya? So means saya kena jadikan supaya equation ni ada y lah. Tapi how to make this equation jadikan ada y? Well, we refer to this y. It means we tengok y yang previous question. The previous question says y is modulus 2 sin x plus 1. So we can refer here. So let's try to make this, change this into modulus 2 sin x plus 1. And how to do that? Quite simple. You just have to, first the 3 pi move to the other side, becomes minus 3 pi. And then the modulus 6 pi, you can actually take out the 6 pi like this. Yeah, you can take out. If it's times relation, you can do that. If it's times relation, okay? So remember that. If it's times relation, you can do that. And then once you take it out like this, wait. Why? Wait. I think it's better if you don't take out the 6 pi lah. I think it's better if you take out 3 pi. Yeah. Why take out 3 pi? Because 6 pi, when you take out 3 pi, 6 pi divided 3 pi is 2, right? And why? Why is it better to do it like this? Because I want my equation to look like this. Modulus 2 sin x plus 1, right? So this is the better way to do it, right? So now the 3 pi, I can move to the other side. Now it becomes modulus 2 sin x. And then now I will take this whole thing, divide 3 pi. So what is 3x divided 3 pi? X over pi. What is negative 3 pi divided 3 pi? Negative 1. But I still cannot change to y yet because I want my y is modulus 2 sin x plus 1. So can I move the minus 1 to this side? Yes, right? And once I move to the other, and why? Kenapa saya buat macam tu? Sebab saya tahu modulus 2 sin x plus 1 can become y. So y equals to x over pi lah. So saya sudah berjaya cari equation of straight line. So this is equation of straight line, right? If the x duduk atas means it's a straight line, man. If the x duduk bawah, then it's not a straight line, it's a curve. If the x duduk bawah. So this one is actually a straight line. So now we can cari 2 points, right? And then just plot and then draw the line. Okay, let's use x equals 0. If x equals 0, 0 divided pi will be 0. So the first point of the line is 0, 0. And we can use another point. Let's use 2 pi maybe. Because if my x is 2 pi, my y will be 2. So this is 2 pi, this is 2, right? Okay, now the problem comes in already. When we draw this line, how do we know that this point will touch like this? It means there will be two, it will sentuh the curve 2 kali or sentuh 1 kali saja, or maybe dia sentuh 1 kali, or maybe tak sentuh langsung, right? Because this is a sketching question. I never use ruler to measure all these things. It's just a sketching question. So how do we know for sure, like whether this line, the line I'm drawing now, is it like this where it's sentuh 1 point, or maybe it's like this sentuh 2 point, or maybe it's like tak sentuh. Okay, let me show you how. If you're not sure, you can use this method. You can find another point, right? I already find 2 points just now, 0, 0, and then 2 pi, right, which is 2. You can actually find another point, which is at pi, right? So what happens when you find pi? Pi divided pi, 1. So it's safer to find 3 points because now you know for sure the straight line will pass through pi 1, which is exactly this point, right? And then another point is 2 pi 2, which is this point. So now you are more, you are much more confident because you know your line should sentuh here at 1 point only. And then before reaching this point, it will sentuh 1 point saja sini, right? It means that the number of solution, we only count 1 here, not 2, just 1 only. So the NOS stands for number of solution. It's 1 and 2, that's all, right? Because it's only 2 number of solution, right? I hope you understand why this one we kira 1, not 2, right? Because some student, when they draw it, they might get 2, right? Because this one is like sketch punya soalan, right? You never use ruler, you just lebih kurang saja. So some of you, your line might look like this, right? Your line might look like this, right? It looks like got 2 here, right? But that's why for this case, if you scared, you can use this method. You can find another point, right? then you can be absolutely sure already whether it's like sentuh 2 kali or sentuh 1 kali. Alright. Okay, so I hope you understand. Okay, let's continue with number 6. So I think this is progression, right? Progression. Okay, let's read the question. Given the sum of second term and third term of geometric progression is 30. Okay, many students will get confused by this. Whenever they see the word sum, they will just say S2, S3 like that. No, 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 no. If they say sum of second term and third term, it means T2 plus T3, right? So T2 plus T3, right? So sum of second term and third term is 30, means T2 plus T3 is 30, right? Sum means you take the term 2, term 3 plus. And then the second term is 9 less than the first term. How to write this? Second term is actually the T1 minus 9 lah. Because they say second term is 9 less than the first term, right? It means if you take the T1 minus 9, you get T2 lah. Okay, or maybe you want to write like this, T2 plus 9 equals T1. Can also, it's the same thing, right? Okay, and then what else? All terms in this sequence are positive. Okay, let me tell you what this means. All terms positive. It means your R is also positive, right? So let me explain a bit. If let's say your A is a positive number, right? And your R is also positive. It means you darab dengan satu positive number, right? So what happens when you take a positive number, darab positive number, you get positive. And then if your R here positive, your R here should be positive. It means all the way you get positive. Do you agree? It means all terms will be positive, right? That is why all terms positive means R positive, right? But imagine now if your R is negative. Imagine your R is negative. What happens when you take a positive number, darab negative number? You will end up with a negative number, right? And then what happens if you take the negative number, darab negative again? You darab dengan negative again, you will end up with positive. And then when you take positive darab negative, you get negative. And then negative darab negative, you get positive. It means you will get this positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. So whenever you see a geometric progression that look like this, satu positive, satu negative, satu, it means the R is negative. Because only when R negative, this thing will happen, right? Satu positive, satu negative, macam tu, right? But since this question says all terms positive, it means definitely your R cannot negative. Your R must be a positive. Because if your R negative, all terms won't be positive, right? Okay, A says find the first term and common ratio of the progression. Okay, so how do I find the first term? The first term means A lah, and then common ratio is R, and they already say R must be bigger than 0. So I think you just do simultaneous, right? But before you do simultaneous, you need this formula, the Tn formula, which is AR power n minus 1. So if I say T2, it means AR power 2 minus 1, which is AR power 1. If I say T3, it means AR power 3 minus 1, which is AR power 2 equals to 30. All right. So what about the other equation? T2, AR power 2 minus 1, so AR power 1. And then T1, which is just A, or you can say AR power 0, but R power 0 is like, you can erase, right? Because R power 0 is 1, and then minus 9, okay? Okay, but I'm trying to do, I don't know my A and R now, right? I want to find both, right? A and R. That's why you have to do simultaneous. So how do we do simultaneous now? I think you can do substitution, right? How to do substitution? You can start from this equation and find R, right? So R will be A minus 9 over A, right? And then this will be my equation 1. And then this one is your equation 2. And then you sub 1 into 2, lah, right? So I'll just write here sub 1 into 2. So now your equation 2 becomes what? AR plus AR square equals 30. And then your R will be A minus 9 over A. This one will also be A minus 9 over A. Okay, A and A can cut, so left with A minus 9. Okay, but please don't cut this A. Okay, why this A can cut? Because the bracket don't have any power. But if the bracket got power 2 like this, you cannot cut. It means you have to do the power 2 first. So before you cut the A, don't cut first. Expand this one first. Okay, do square first lah, means. Okay, siapa yang kena square? A minus 1 kena square or A yang kena square? Sebenarnya both pun kena square. Atas pun kena square, bawah pun kena square. So what is bawah square? It will be A square. Alright, A minus 9 square is not A square plus 81. A lot of students will make this mistake. They will tell me, oh, sir, depan square is A square, belakang square is 81. This is wrong. This is wrong. A minus 9 square is not like that. A minus 9 square is A minus 9 darab dengan A minus 9. It means you have to darab like this one by one. So you will end up with A square minus 18A plus 81. Right? So A square minus 9A minus 9A is minus 18A plus 81, right? So make sure you know that. And then equals to what? Equals to 30 lah. Now can cut. But when you cut the A, you will cut with the A square. It means this one left with A here, right? So now it becomes A minus 9 plus A square minus 18A plus 81 over A equals 30. But I don't like when my equation have fraction. So how do we get rid of the fraction? We just take everything times A lah. Because when you take everything times A, this the a here will hilang. So the a here will become a square, the 9 here will become 9a, and this one when you take this whole thing times a, the a and a can cut. So whatever at the top, you just write it down, 18a plus 81 like this, right? And then the 30 also times a become 30a, right? Okay, now it got square means it becomes a quadratic. And when it's a quadratic, you have to move everything to one side equals 0 and then press calculator. So a square plus a square is 2a square. And then negative 9a dengan negative 18a and 30a boleh buat. So how do we press? Negative 9 minus 18 minus 30. Because the 30 pindah jadi minus. So what is negative 9 minus 18 minus 30? Okay, my calculator give me negative 57a. Right? So write it down. And then finally is the number which is plus 81 equals 0. So I want it to be like this because it's general form. Now we can press calculator to get the value of a, right? So this is a quadratic. So how do we press? What is the a? The a of the equation is 2. The b is negative 57. The c is 81. Okay, my calculator give me 27 and 3 over 2. Okay, so what is my a then? A minus 27. And then the bracket here have to write 2a minus 3 equals 0. So these are two of my a answers, right? So now we can find our r. We can just substitute back here. So what I'll write here, I think, okay, let's write here. So when a equals to 27, my r will be a minus, right? Sorry, my r will be, means substitute inside this equation. So it will be a minus 9 over a, which is 27 minus 9 over 27. So I'll end up with, let's press calculator, 27 minus 9 equals, and divide 27. Okay, my calculator gives me 2 over 3, right? 2 over 3. But there's another a answer, so we should also consider that when a equals to 3 over 2, my r will be what? A minus 9 over a. So a minus 9 over a. So this is 3 over 2, this is 3 over 2. And then now we can press this. Okay, 3 over 2 means 1.5. So what is 1.5 minus 9 divide 1.5? Okay, my calculator give me negative 5. Okay, negative 5, right? So now we can write down our final answer. Dot dot dot. Since r must be bigger than 0, comma, therefore a equals to 27 and r equals to 2 over 3. All right, it means we will reject this, right? But you will not erase the working. Okay, it means you will still leave it like this. Okay, but we just write rejected here. Okay, why rejected? Because the soalan says already, r must be they say all terms are positive, and I already said all terms positive means the r must be positive. That is why we cannot take the a 3 over 2 r negative 5 answer. Okay, means the only answer here is 27 and 2 over 3. Okay, okay, let's continue with b. Okay, b says what? Okay, let's read b. Determine whether 15081 is a term in the progression. Give a reason. Okay, we already know the progression. The a is what? 27, r is 2 over 3. So the first term is 27, the a is 27, and then the r is 2 over 3. So what is 27 times 2 over 3? 18, right? Okay, and then 18 times 2 over 3, 12, right? And so on. It means to get the next term, I have to times 2 over 3. And they are asking you whether this one is one of the term. So what you do now is you find the Tn equals to 150 over 81, right? Because this is T1, this is T2, this is T3, right? And if you want to know whether this term is one of the term, is Tn, you have to make sure your n comes out will be a whole number lah. Whole number means no fraction, no decimal. If it comes out decimal, it means if it's not integer, it's not positive integer, then it means this thing is not one of the term, right? Because n cannot have negative one. N cannot have negative and cannot have fraction and cannot have decimal. Okay, because if you have decimal means it's not one of the term. Okay, you understand? So now we use the AR power n minus 1 formula again. So the A is 27. Okay, so the A is 27. And then the R is 2 over 3. And then the n I want to find. So just write power n minus 1 equals 150 over 81. And now you will find your n. But first you will pindah the 27. So it will be 2 over 3 power n minus 1. Okay, we can press calculator. 150 divide 81. And then divide 27. Okay, my calculator give me 50 over 729, right? 50 over 729. But how can I find n? Okay, both side is fraction. It means definitely they have no chance to change to same base, right? 2 over 3 is like 0.6666. It's like very ugly answer. Okay, it's not ugly answer actually because you can change to fraction, right? And then 50 over 729 is like 0.06858, a lot of decimal places. So definitely you can't change to same base. So the only way is to tambah log both sides. And when you tambah log both sides, remember to you can use any base you want, but I will use base 10, and then it will be 2/3, and then the n minus 1 can bring it in front, and then this will be 50/729. And now you can actually find n minus 1. You just press log answer divide log 10 2/3, right? Then you will get the answer. Okay, my calculator give me 6.6088, so 609 lah. 6.609. So how do you find n? 6.609 plus 1, which is 7.709. So your n is actually not an integer. It's not a positive. Okay, it's positive, but it's not integer. It's not a whole number. So we can say that this 15081 is not a term in the progression, right? So I'll just write here, dot, 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 15081 is not a term in this progression. In this progression. Because give your reason, because n equals to 7.709, which is not an integer. Okay, so remember this, n cannot have negative, cannot have fraction, cannot have decimal, but a and r can. If the a is negative, boleh. A is decimal, also can. A got fraction, also can. R also can. R can be positive, negative, can be fraction. But n memang tak boleh. N memang tak boleh, because n is like ranking, like first place, second place, third place, right? It's not possible to get like 1.5 place or -2 place. Like, it's not possible, right? Because that one is the n is like the ranking, is the kedudukan, right? So that's why if you get decimal like this, it means this is not one of the term. Okay, so hope you understand. Okay, number 7, let's continue. I think this is integration. Okay, diagram 4 shows part of curve y equals square root x plus 4, but take note, the square root is only until here. They never cover the whole thing, right? So I think it's important. Okay, before I start doing this question, let's find out all the important points. What are important points? It means the x-intercept, the y-intercept, the intersection point, and all those things. Okay, I already see that the y-intercept of this line is 22. And then what about this one? This one is the y-intercept of curve. So we can ganti x0 here to find the y-intercept here, which is 4, right? Because square root 0 is 0, 0 plus 4, 4 lah. So this point is 4, right? The y-intercept. Okay, ataupun you boleh cakap 0, 4. And then can we find the point S? The answer is yes. The x-coordinate is 4. The y-coordinate, well, just substitute back here, right? So it'll be square root 4, which is 2. 2 plus 4, 6, right? It means if I tarik satu line here, okay, this is 6, right? But this one, the question never asked me to do, right? But you have to have this habit. You need to have this habit when they give you integration punya diagram. Try to find out all the possible points, the important points, right? The x-intercept, y-intercept, and intersection point. Okay, now they say find area of shaded region. Okay, let's look at the shaded region. If you look at this shaded region, okay, area of shaded region, we will use integration method to find, obviously, right? But we cannot straight away integrate from 22 to 4. You know why? Because this is not a straight line, right? So you actually have to take something plus something, right? Or something minus something, right? So let me explain a bit. Whenever you want to find area of shaded region, you need to make sure you take one point, the first contact point and the last contact point, and you have to tarik to x-axis, shoot to x-axis ataupun shoot to y-axis, right? So if you use y-axis to find, it means you are finding this area. Then you have to plus with this area separately if you use y-axis lah. But if you use x-axis, can also for this question. But if you use x-axis, the first contact point and the last contact point, you have to shoot like this, right? Shoot to x-axis, right? From 4 to 0. But if you find like this, you are finding the area for whole thing. It means you have to minus with this one later. Okay, if you use the x-axis. And let me tell you, this question is better to use x-axis, because look at the equation. If the equation is y equals, then it's better to use dx, x-axis, because if you use x-axis, it will be dx here, here will be y. Then you can straight away ganti. But if you shoot to y-axis, if the first contact point and the last contact point shoot to y-axis, the area you are finding is shooting towards y, then it will be dy here, then this will be x. And you have to pindah this one, right? That is why sometimes when you look at the equation, it will help you also to choose whether to use the y-axis or x-axis. So for me, I'll use x-axis. So I'll write dx like this, right? And here it will be y, and here will be 4, 0. It means I'm taking the first contact point and the last contact point, shoot to x-axis. That's why I write dx, and then here will be y, right? And the problem with this is the y here, you have to use the straight line equation, right? You have to use the straight line equation. And then minus. Why minus? Because you are actually finding the trapezium area. When you do like this, you are finding the trapezium area, right? And then minus with what? Minus with this, right? So it will be minus with integrate 4, 0 also, but this time is dx, but this time is the curve equation, right? Because it's from the contact point is started from the curve. So it will be y here, and the y here is square root x plus 4, right? So let's straight away write it square root x plus 4 dx, right? But the y here is not square root x plus 4. The y here is for the equation of straight line, and we don't have equation of straight line, right? So what we can do now is find the equation of straight line. How to find? Y equals mx plus c. The c I already know is 22, but the gradient don't know, right? But the gradient we can find. Just take y minus y over x minus x, 22 minus 6 over 0 minus 4, and then blah, 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 and then put in like this, and then integrate, blah, 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 and then get the answer. Okay, can also, but there's actually a faster way to do this. If you don't want to find the equation of straight line, you can also use the trapezium area formula. Because when you find integrate 4, 0 straight line tarik, you're actually finding the trapezium area. And the trapezium area, it's 1 over 2 times sum of parallel sides times with the distance, right? The distance here. So what is the sum of parallel side? 22 plus 6. So 22 plus 6 straight away. And then the distance here is 4, right? And then you'll get 22 plus 6, which is 28. Divide 2 times 4, which is 56, right? So it means the area of the trapezium is 56, right? Or what's the other method? The other method is to find the equation of straight line. You do like this: 22 minus 6, 0 minus 4, and then blah, blah, blah. And then after you get the gradient, you put it in here, and then you have to integrate this 4, 0. But believe me, you will end up with the same answer. Okay? Do you want me to prove to you? Okay, I'll do it fast, but I will do it fast. Okay, let's try to calculate the gradient. Okay, give me -4 here, right? -4. So this one is -4x plus 2. So you will integrate 4, 0, -4x plus 2 dx, right? Because if you use the integration method, it will look like this: integrate 4, 0, and this is the equation of straight line. And then you will integrate -4x, you'll be integrate 4x squared over 2, integrate 2 is 2x, 4, 0, and then cut -2. So you're left with 4 squared, 16 times -2, -32 plus 4 times 2, 8. And then when you ganti 0, it's just 0. And then -32 plus 8. Wait, did I do it correctly? 1 over 2 times 22 plus 6. Okay, let's calculate the gradient one more time. Y minus y, 0 minus 4. What is 22 minus 6? 16, right? Divide 4 is divide -4, so -4. Okay, this one is 22. Okay, patut lah, this one is 22, right? So if this is 22, means what is this? It means this one should be integrate -4x. It will be -4x squared over 2. This one will be 22x, right? 22x. And then when you substitute 4, it will be 4 square, 16. 16 times -2 is -32. And then 4 times 22 is 88. But then when you ganti 0, it's just -0, right? And then -2 plus 38, guess what? Is 56. Same answer with this, right? It means there's two methods lah. It means there's two methods. You can either use the integration method, or you want to use the area of trapezium formula pun boleh, right? But I think I'll just erase this lah. You can do it like this also lah. It's up to you. But the area of trapezium formula is faster, right? I'm just trying to prove to you to make you understand. You will get the same answer. Doesn't matter which method you use, right? Okay, so let's come back here. Okay, after we get the 56, we have to minus with the area of curve here, right? Which is integrate 4, 0. But this time will be the curve equation. I already write down here, right? So how to integrate square root x plus 4? Okay, the x means x power 1 over 2. Okay, and then 4 dx. So now I will stop writing this symbol. I will write the big bracket instead, because now I will start to integrate. What is integrate? How to integrate? The power have to plus 1. 1 over 2 plus 1 is 3 over 2. And then divide with the same power, which is 3 over 2, like this, right? And then plus integrate 4, which is 4x. And then dx, you will just ignore, and then just write 4, 0 here, right? You don't have to write plus c. If got number here, means you don't have to write plus c. Okay, until here, now you can continue. 56 minus, okay, what is, okay, if there's no number in front, means 1. What is 1 divided 3 over 2? 2 over 3. And then x power 3 over 2 plus 4x, and then total bracket 4, 0. And now you will ganti 4 inside. So when you ganti 4 inside, you'll get something, and then when you ganti 0 inside, you'll get something. Okay, what is 4 power 3 over 2 times 2 over 3? You will get 16 over 3. And then what is 4 times x, which is 4 times 4, 16, right? And then when you ganti 0, it's 0. Okay, 16 over 3 plus 16 minus 0. Let's press. 16 over 3 plus 16 minus 0. 64 over 3. And then 56 minus answer. Okay, my calculator give me 104 over 3, right? So that should be the answer for A. And don't forget to write unit square. Okay, so I repeat one more time. I want to go through one more time. To get the total area, you can use area of trapezium formula, or you can use integration method. You can get the same answer, but you have to minus with this one. But when you minus with this one, there's no other way. You must use the integration method, right? You cannot use area of trapezium for this. This is not even trapezium. Like this one is like curve like that one. So for curve tarik punya, there's only one way. You have to use the integration. Okay, but for kalau straight line tarik, you can most of the time you can choose whether to use the formula or integration method. Let's continue with B. Calculate the volume. So volume formula is what? It will be pi y square dx ataupun pi x square dy, depending on which axis you revolve. So let's read. Calculate volume of revolution in terms of pi when the region bounded by a curve straight line y equals, so region bounded by curve. Okay, let's erase all this. Okay, so what does it mean by region bounded by curve? So this is the curve, region bounded by curve, and then straight line y equals 6. Okay, actually we already know this point S just now. It's 4, 6, right? How we know it's 6? Because I ganti the 4 here is square root 4, 2, 2 plus 4, 6, right? And we also know this point, which is 4 just now, right? Okay, y equals 6 line is where? It's here, right? It's this one. So region bounded by curve. Bounded means in between. So in between the curve and the straight line y equals 6, and the y-axis, which is this one, rotated 360 about y-axis. So definitely we have to use this formula, right? Because it's y-axis, so dy. And also which region I'm trying to rotate now? This one. Not the whole thing, only this only, right? And it revolves y-axis like this, right? So if you look carefully at this, you can straight away find the volume. You don't have to take something minus something, because the contact point is here and here, and it's already directed straight towards y-axis. So there's no like you can straight away find the volume already. It will be volume, it will integrate dy, and it will be pi x square. And the number you write will be 4, and here, which is 6, right? 6, 4. Okay. And the equation you take will be obviously the curve equation, right? So now it'll be what? Pi can letak depan and then integrate 6, 4, and then x square dy, right? But how do I know the x square? Well, you have to pindah a bit lah. So square root x plus 4 equals to y, right? And you have to cari x, right? And I repeat one more time, for volume, you cannot choose which axis to use. Because if for volume, if they say rotate about x-axis, then confirm you have to use the dx punya formula. If they say rotate y, then you have to use the dy formula. You cannot choose, all right? It's not like area. Like area, you can choose, right? Okay, let's try to find x. It'll be y minus 4, and then x will be y minus 4 square, right? Don't expand this, right? Just leave it like this, right? So if x is y minus 4 power 2, what is x square? It will be y minus 4 power 2 again, right? Because this one is x square. This one is x. That's why if I want to find x square, I have to take y minus 4 power 2 power 2. So now we just integrate this whole thing. So you get pi integrate 6, 4. Y minus 4 power 2 is y minus 4 power 4 dx, right? So this symbol, you still have to write it because you haven't integrate yet. Now only you will stop writing this, because you start to integrate. When you start to integrate, you will stop writing this symbol and you will just integrate. So you take the power plus 1, which is you get power 5 over 5. And then don't forget to differentiate inside bracket one more time. You'll get 1 and then close bracket 6, 4. Okay, now we can write pi. Okay, dalam kalau boleh simplify dulu, but I don't think you can do much already, right? So you can just substitute the 6 inside now and then substitute the 4 inside, right? Okay, when you substitute 6 minus 4 is 2, 2 power 5 is 32, so 32 over 5. When you substitute 4 minus 4, 0, 0 power 5, 0, 0 divided by 5, 0, 0. And now you get your final answer. 32 over 5 minus 0 is 32 over 5, and then times with pi units cubed, right? So this is the answer. Okay, is that what they want? Yes, sudah siap. Okay, now we are at bahagian B. Bahagian ini mengandungi 4 soalan, jawab 3 soalan. But for bahagian B, I think I will jawab semua 4 soalan, right? So let's begin. This is question number 8, so it's a linear law, right? Linear law. So this one I have to use graph paper lah. Okay, let's read the question. Table 2 shows the values of 2 variables x and y obtained from experiment. The variable x and y are related by this equation. Okay, I can tell you for sure this is not linear form. So whenever they give equation dalam linear law question mesti bukan linear form. You kena convert sendiri jadi linear form. So y equals to s over r root of x. So definitely this is not linear form and I have to convert later. Okay, let's read first. Where r and s are constant, okay, they give you table. And then A says plot log y against log x using a scale of blah, 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 draw the line of best fit. And then B says find the value of r and s. Okay, the first part A, they want you to draw a graph, right? But you cannot draw graph first. Okay, you cannot draw graph first. That's not how I teach you. You should always change to linear form. Kalau ada equation, you should always change to linear form. Lepas tu buat table baru. Then only you can draw the graph, right? Why you have to change to linear form first, even though the question never asked? Because if you don't change to linear form, you cannot do part B later. So your job now is to change to linear form and construct a new table. But how to know whether this one is linear form? Well, if it's linear form, your equation will be same with y-axis. What is your y-axis now? You can tiru this baris. Log y against log x. So if they want you to plot this one against this one, means definitely log y is the y-axis. But look at your equation now. Dia tak sama pun dengan y-axis. So you have to samakan lah. How to samakan? Tambah log both sides. And you can tambah any base you want. Any base. Any base. But if I am you, I will use base 10. Right? Because the y-axis is base 10 also. Right? So this one will be y. This one will be s over r root of x. Right? And let me tell you what is r root of x. Okay, let me ask you if square root x means x power 1 over 2. Cube root x means x power 1 over 3. Fourth root x means x power 1 over 4. So if this one is r, what do you think will be the power? 1 over r lah, right? So this one is x power 1 over r, right? And now what you do is the log y base 10 is already sama, the equation sudah sama dengan y-axis, but you still have to susun this one, right? Okay, how you susun this? Okay, single log divide, single log divide, single log divide, separate log minus. So it becomes log 10s minus log 10x power 1 over r. But the power can put in front like this, right? But it's still not linear form. You have to susun. So it has to be y equal mx plus c. So which one you will write first? You will write negative 1 over r and then log 10x and then baru tulis plus log 10s. Why you have to write in this specific particular order? Because you want it to be y equals mx plus c. So the y-axis is log y, sudah ngam. X-axis is log x, okay. Match already. It means your gradient is negative 1 over r. And then what about your c? Your y-intercept is log s, right? And trust me, you need this later to find the r and s in part B later. Okay, even though you don't use it now, but later, if you don't do this, you can't do part B later, right? Okay, after you do all this, now you know your x-axis, y-axis. Now you should do a table. Okay, you have to do a new table because later you have to draw graph, right? And you cannot use this table. This table is for xy. Now your x-axis and y-axis sudah modify, right? You already changed to log x, log y. That's why you need a new table. So how many points you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it will be this one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then you just put in all the value here. All right, your x-axis will be what? Log x base 10. And then your y-axis will be log y base 10. Oh, and by the way, this table, the question never asks you to draw, right? But if you don't draw, you cannot draw the graph later, right? Even if the question never asks to do this step, also you need to do it. Okay, what is your log x and log y? Okay, your log x will change because this table is all this value is for x, right? So I have to tekan log 1.6, log 2.6, log 4, and write down all here, right? So let's press calculator. Log 10, 1.6. Okay, let me press. My calculator give me 0.2. Okay, you don't have to write so many decimal places because later you have to plot. When you plot graph, 2 decimal place is enough. So 0.20, right? So 2 decimal place is enough because we are plotting graph. And then log 2.6, let's press. Okay, 0.41. Let's go again. Siap. Log 4, base 10. Okay, the calculator give me 0.60. Just put it in. And then the next one, I think I'll just do it fast lah. So this one is 0.90. This one is 1.20. This one is 1.32. Okay, this is very easy. You just do it by yourself. Just press calculator. And then this one is log y. So just press log 1.4. You get 0.15. And then the next one is log 2, which is 0.30. And then next one is 0.43. And then this one is 0.459. And then 0.80. And then 0.90, right? And then just press log. Semua tekan log saja. Alright. Okay. So very simple. Nothing much to teach here. Just press calculator. Right. Okay. Now after I have the table, now only I will plot the graph. Right. And let me tell you, this graph, your origin have to be at the bawah sebelah kiri because all your value is positive. If all positive means your center have to be here. Right. And then you will follow the scale 2 cm to 0.2, and then just keep going until 1.4. Right? Because the highest value is 1.32, right? It means you will use 7 kotak here. And then for y-axis is 2 cm 0.1, and then you will go up until highest number 0.9. So you will use 9 kotak here, right? And then you plot all the points and then draw the line, right? After you draw the line, then you do part C. Part B. Okay, I will show you my graph. I already draw it just now because I don't want to drag the videos too long. I don't want to do during the video. So I already do it just now. So this is how it looks like, right? And then I even draw the line of best fit already. Okay, so I don't want to waste your time. You can just, if you want to check the graph, you can just pause the video now and just check yourself, right? I will straight away do part B. Okay, I will straight away do part B now. So part B says what? Using the graph in 8A, find the value of R and S. So later I'll refer back to the graph to find the R and S. But before I do that, let's write down first what is R, what is S. Okay, how do we find my R? By using gradient, right? But gradient is not R. Your gradient is negative 1 over R. So you write negative 1 over R equals gradient, right? And then for the C, what is C? The y-intercept is the log S. So when you write log S, you have to write like this. So log 10 S equals to y-intercept. But the y you have to use huruf besar. So y-intercept. So now negative 1 over R, later you can find gradient in the graph. And then log S base 10, you can also find the y-intercept from the graph. And then substitute here, and then pindah, then cari R and S lah. Okay, let's find gradient first. When we find gradient, how many coordinate we need? We need 2 coordinate, right? So let's go to the graph and find 2 coordinate that we can use. So you can choose any 2 coordinate you want in the graph. Any 2 coordinate you want, right? But if you ask me, I will choose I will refer the x-axis when I choose, and I will try to choose x coordinate yang lepas tolak senang untuk bahagi. What do I mean by that? It means I will take, for example, 0 to 1. Because if I take 0 to 1, 1 minus 0 will be 1. And when you divide by 1, you will end up with a nice answer, right? You will not end up with a lot of decimal place, okay? Or you can also take 0.2 to 1.2, or maybe you can take 0.4 to 1.4, which I will do now. So I will actually take 0.4 to 1.4. So I will end up choosing the 0.4 point, and make sure you choose the point yang dekat line. So this point is 0.4, and the y coordinate is, okay, let's not write here because later I have to draw dotted line. So I think it's better to write here the coordinate 0.4. This one is the one I'm taking. 0.4 and then 0.29. Right? So this is the point. And then if I take 0.4, I can take until 1.4. Right? Actually, it's up to you. You can choose any 2 points, right? It doesn't have to be like 0.4, 1.4. It can be mana-mana boleh, right? It's just that I take 1.4 and 0.4 so that when I minus later, 1.4 minus 0.4 is 1. And when you divide by 1, your answer will not be like a lot of decimal place. Okay, the x coordinate is 1.4. The y coordinate is 0.919293, right? So this is the 2 points that I will take. But make sure you draw dotted lines. Okay, draw dotted line. And then this one also have to draw dotted line. Use ruler lah. So you use ruler to draw like this and then put a 90 degree, right? And after you write down this, now you can find the gradient. So how to find gradient? Y minus y bahagi x minus x. So 0.93 divide 0.29. 0.93 divide 0.29. So let's write it down. 0.93 minus 0.29, and I believe it's 1.4 minus 0.4, right? Let's double check. That is why I choose 1.4 and 0.4, because I know the gradient formula is y minus y over x minus x. And if I take 1.4 minus 0.4 for my x minus x, I will end up with a nice answer because you divide by 1, right? So you understand, huh? Okay, so what is 0.93 minus 0.29? My calculator gives me 0.64. Yeah, so 0.64. And what is 0.64 divide 1? 0.64 also lah. So this one is 0.64, right? Because 1.4 minus 0.4 is 1. So it's negative 1 over r here. Okay, how do I find r now? The r I can move up here jadi darab, and then 64 I can move jadi bahagi. So it become 1 over 0.64 equals r, right? Means darab jadi bahagi, bagi jadi darab. So how to find r? Just press all this in your calculator. So 1 divide 0.64, and then just letak negative. So negative 1.5625, right? I think you can write negative 1.6 positive positive negative 1.5625, right? I think if you write negative 1.6 is also good enough, right? Negative 1.6, right? But let's try to be safe here. So if you want to be safe, you can write more numbers lah. But so for me, I will write like this, right? But I think if you write negative 1.6, I think it's good also, or maybe 1.56, right? But if you want to be safe, you can write more lah. The more you write, the safer. Okay, let's continue with the y-intercept. So let's go to my graph. What is my y-intercept? Okay, according to my graph is 0.01, 0.02, 0.03. 0.03 is my y-intercept. So that's the value that I will put in here. And then how to find my s? Just pindah the log 10. So the log base become number base. Okay, means you do anti-log. So now you press 10 power 0.03. Okay, my calculator give me 1.072. Okay, so that's the answer. Actually, you want to write 1.1 also is can one, right? You want to write 1.1 can also. Okay. But I will write 4 significant figure. So 1.072. Okay, so that's it. Okay. Okay, let's continue with number 9. Okay, I think this is what chapter is this? Coordinate geometry, right? So let's read the question. Okay, solution by skill drawing is not accepted. Okay, I don't care. And then diagram 5 shows 3 points A, B, and C. Okay, A, B, C, which are midpoints of straight line PQ, QR, PR. So let's say point A is the midpoint of PQ, and then point B will be midpoint of QR, and midpoint of C is the midpoint of PR, right? It means the ratio all is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, but this is not vector chapter, so I will not use ratio to label. I will just use the lines like this to remind myself that they are same length. Okay, and then they say it forms a parallelogram PABC. Where's PABC? This one is the parallelogram, right? So if parallelogram, can you tell me what characteristic? If it's parallelogram, what characteristic this shape have? It means the PA line and the CB line, they will be parallel, right? Because they are parallelogram. So parallel, and not just parallel, they are same length as well. Parallel and sama panjang. What about here? Here will be parallel with here and sama panjang as well, right? So that's all lah. Now A question. Now we can do A question 1. They want me to find equation of straight line PR. Whenever we find equation, we will always use this formula in Addmaths. We always use this formula. Y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. Okay. Or maybe some of the student, they want to use y equals mx plus c. Okay, can also, up to you, right? Can also, right? But I will only use this formula when I'm doing maths. When I'm doing Addmaths, I always use this formula, right? Okay, so how to use this formula? We first need to make sure we have gradient and the x1, y1. It means we need to have gradient and satu point yang ada passes through. So do we have a gradient of PR and point yang PR ada passes through? Let's look at PR. Okay, first of all, we already know the PR point yang ada passes through is 0, -2, right? So we already know it passes through 0, -2, right? I'm finding PR punya equation. But the problem is I don't have the gradient of PR. And in order to find gradient, you need 2 coordinates. And is there any 2 coordinates that I can use here? No, I only have 1 coordinate. So how? Okay, don't forget this symbol. What is this symbol means? Parallel. Parallel means they have the same gradient. So even though I cannot find gradient of PR, I can find gradient of AB. All right, and they have the same gradient. They are both parallel. So how to find gradient of AB? Y minus y, so 3 minus -1 over x minus x, -1 minus 3. And you will end up here 4 divided -4, which is -1. And since they are both parallel, that's why both have same gradient. So now it'll be y equals mx plus c. What is the m? -1, so negative x plus c. And guess what? This point yang ada passes through, that is the y-intercept. So this is the straight away the answer already, right? But of course, if you want to use this formula, can also. I will show you, you will get the same answer. Let's try. So it will be y minus y, so y minus 2 lah, because y plus 2, because the passes through punya point is x0, y -2, right? And then the gradient we are using here is -1. So it will be y minus y equals gradient -1, x minus x. So x have to minus x coordinate, so x minus 0. So you will end up getting y plus 2 equals to -x, and then y equals -x minus 2. You see, it's the same thing, right? So yeah. Okay, now let's do second question. Find the equation of perpendicular bisector of PQ. Okay, this is very important. Perpendicular bisector. What is perpendicular bisector? Pembahagi dua sama serenjang. And how do we find perpendicular bisector? Okay, let's go to PQ. Where is PQ? Here, right? So what will be the... Okay, how do we draw perpendicular bisector? Perpendicular bisector means we use compass to draw. It means we will cucuk P, lukis atas, lukis bawah, and then cucuk Q, lukis atas, lukis bawah, and then join these two lines, right? And you need to know something about this line. This line, it will be perpendicular to PQ. It means it will be 90 degree, and it will passes through the midpoint. So when we call this line perpendicular bisector means what? It will be perpendicular with the original line and will also passes through the midpoint. Then only it's called perpendicular bisector. So can you tell me, this perpendicular bisector will passes through which point? Point A, right? Because A is the midpoint of PQ. So the point yang ada passes through is A, -1, 3, right? And when we are finding equation, we memang kena ada dua information. We kena ada gradient and the point yang ada passes through. And we already know the passes through point is this point. So now we just need the gradient of the perpendicular bisector. How to find gradient? Well, you can find gradient of PQ first, right? After we find gradient of PQ, we can use this formula. M1, M2 equals -1. Because when two lines are perpendicular, they are both gradient times together is -1, right? Okay, let's find gradient of PQ first. What is gradient of PQ? Ayo, don't have two coordinate eh. So how? Okay, it's okay because PQ line is parallel dengan CB line, right? Because this and this is parallelogram. So I even label it nicely already. That is why labeling is very important. If you don't label nicely, then you don't know they have the same gradient, right? So that's why I label the arrow, okay, to indicate that they are parallel. So gradient of PQ is actually same with gradient of BC, and I can find BC gradient easily because I have two coordinate. It will be -2 minus -1 divide 0 minus 3. I will end up here -2 plus 1, which is -1, -3, which is 1/3. But of course, this is gradient of PQ. I don't want PQ gradient. I want PQ punya perpendicular bisector punya gradient. So we will use M1, M2, -1. Remember this, when parallel means their gradient same. But when perpendicular, the two gradient times together is -1. So we already know this, it will be the M1, or you can call this the M2 also, it doesn't matter. And then 1/3 times M2 equals -1. And then to get the M2, you will get -1 divided 1/3, which is -3. Okay. And okay, let's not call it M1, M2. Let's call it, okay lah, I think I should call it M1, M2 lah. All right. It means the M1 will be the gradient of PQ, then the M2 will be the gradient of perpendicular bisector. So now we have our gradient perpendicular bisector. So the perpendicular bisector gradient is -3. And then the point yang ada perpendicular bisector ada passes through is the midpoint, which is this. So now we can use these two information yang saya circle to find equation. And which formula I will use? You can use y equal mx plus c. If you use y equal mx plus c, you will write y equals -3x plus c, and then passes through -1, 3, and then you sub this inside x, sub this inside y, and then find c. Can also. But I will not use this. I will use the Addmaths formula, which is y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1, right? But if you use that, the other method can also, you will get full mark also, right? Okay, the gradient, make sure you put -3, and then the x1, y1, you will put this point. So it will be -1 is the x coordinate, so obviously you have to write here, but you have to write +1. 3 is the y coordinate, so obviously you have to write here, but you have to write -3. Because the formula is like y minus y, right? So now you get y minus 3 equals -3x minus 3, and then y equals -3x. -3 plus 3 is 0, so this is the answer. Okay, sudah siap. Let's continue with B. Okay, B says what? if the straight line PQ is extended to S, where is PQ? So this is PQ extended to S, okay. And then it says such that PQ ratio PS is 2:3. So time to label lah. If they give you information, PQ ratio is 2, so PQ here is 2, and then PS is 3. It means this is 1 lah, right? So imagine PQ is 2. It means P to Q, the ratio is 2, right? Okay, wait. PQ is 2, means from here to here is 2. And then PS is 3. So it means from here to here is 3, right? It means this one is 1 lah, right? And then they say find coordinates of Q in terms of M and N. How to find coordinates of Q? So assuming Q now we don't know, we call it XY. Now I want to find it in terms of M and N. So how? Okay, very easy. Do we have point P? The answer is no, right? We don't have point P, but we have point A, right? And guess what? A is the midpoint of PQ. And if A is the midpoint of PQ, the ratio here must be 1, 1. It means we can actually erase this whole thing because the whole thing here is 2, right? So it means this one is 1. Because this one is also midpoint, so 1, 1 lah. That's why the total is 2. So how do we find point Q? Actually, it's quite easy. We use point A and point S, right? Because point Q is exactly in the middle of A and S. Because look at the ratio. It's same, 1, 1. So Q will be the midpoint. So to find point Q, you will actually do it like this. So I'll write here, to find point Q, you will actually take the midpoint formula, which is you take x plus x divide 2, y plus y divide 2. It means you will take m minus 1 divide 2 to get the x coordinate of point Q, and to get the y coordinate it will be n plus 3 divide 2, right? Because this is the midpoint formula. And why we can use midpoint formula? Because the ratio is 1, 1. That is why. So say already, that's the B answer. Okay. Oh, so that's why 1 mark only, because yeah, it's just like that. Okay, so C, find the area of triangle ABC, hence the area of PQR. Okay, if you want to find area, boleh, tapi you kena make sure you have point A, point B, and point C coordinate. If you don't have, you cannot find, right? Because before you use the 1/2 modulus formula, you kena make sure ada semua coordinate dulu. So what is point A, point B, point C? Do I have it? Point A is -1, 3, so we have it. And then point B pula ada point B. Point B also have is 3, -1, and then C is 0, -2. So 3, -1, 0, -2. 3, -1, 0, -2. And with these 3 points, I think I can find the area of triangle. It means when you find area of triangle, you need to make sure have all the corner punya coordinate. All the vertices punya coordinate. Semua coordinate bucu kena ada, baru boleh cari area. Because the formula is like this, 1/2, and then modulus, and then you put in all the points inside, right? Okay, you can start from any point you want, because it's a triangle. So let's start from 0, -2, and then let's go A, -1, 3, and then let's go B, 3, -1. Before you close modulus, repeat the first one, 0, -2, right? Okay, maybe some students, they want to start from this point. Can also, up to you lah. You can start with any point you want, and yeah. Okay, just make sure all the coordinate have to tulis sekali, and then the last one have to repeat the first one, right? Even if you start with different order with me, you'll get the same answer. Okay, so 1/2 modulus, you will have to darab silang like this. 0 times 3, 0, tak payah tulis, plus -1 times 1, 1, plus 3 times -2, -6, minus. Why suddenly minus? Because change direction. -2 times -1, +2. So 2 lah. And then minus 3 times 3, 6, minus -1 times 0, 0, 0 tak payah tulis. So it means you just have this only. So now you just press calculator, this whole thing, then you get answer. 1 minus 6, -5, -2, -7, -6, -13. So -13 divide 2, you will get 6.5. Wait, did I do everything correctly? 0, -2, 3, -1, -1, 3. Okay. This one is 1, this one is -6. And then -2. Okay, 3 times 3 is 9. I write 6 here. Okay, sorry. 3 times 3 is 9. Careless mistake. So this shouldn't be -13. Let's calculate one more time. 1 minus 6 is -5. -5 minus 2 is -7. Minus 9 is -16. And when you modulus -16, you will get 16. And then 16 divided 2 is 8 units square. Okay, this is the area of ABC. So actually, I should write area of ABC here. Okay, area of triangle ABC, because I'm using the ABC coordinate, right? Then they want you to find area of triangle PQR. Okay, let's look at PQR. Where is PQR? Okay, ABC is where? ABC. ABC is this small one, right? And then PQR is the big one, this one, right? And I want you to know PQR punya coordinate tak bagi. Okay, tak bagi, right? So even if they bagi also, you shouldn't use the area formula again. Just look at the PQR triangle. Can you see the PQR triangle is how many times the ABC triangle? I ask you one more time. The ABC triangle is this size, right? It's from here to here like this, right? ABC triangle. So the PQR triangle is actually this triangle. How many times? Like PQR triangle is how many times bigger than this? It's 4 times, right? Because it's like this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. It means you just take this triangle times 4. Then you can get the big triangle already. So you can do it fast, right? To find the area of triangle PQR, you will just take 8 times 4, which is 32 unit square, right? Let me explain using another way. I want to explain using Form 5 Mathematic scale factor, right? Scale factor, using the scale factor method. Okay, do you remember the triangle looks something like this, right? And then the ABC is like this, right? Is it? I forgot already. So the B is here lah, and then PQR. Okay, so the B is here. Okay, the B is here, and then the C is here, and then where is PQR? So PQR like that. Okay, I want you to listen carefully. This A is the midpoint. This C is also the midpoint. The B is also the midpoint. It means what is the scale factor of the big triangle to the small triangle? What's the scale factor? It will be image divided object, right? Let's assume the big one is image, the small one is object. So the scale factor is definitely 2. You know why? Because the panjang here will definitely be 2 times this, right? And then the panjang here will be 2 times this, because these two lines, they are corresponding, right? And then the panjang here will be 2 times this. Do you agree? So the scale factor is 2 when you take image, the length of image divided length of object. But how to find area of image? What is the formula? It will be k squared times area of object, right? I'm explaining using mathematics. This one you learn in mathematics, not Addmaths, right? You will take how to find area of image. Area of image is k squared times area of object, right? So it will be 2 squared times area of object, which is the small one. And the small one I already find 8. That is why it will be 8 times 4, which is 32, right? It means even though the triangle length, the length is 2 times bigger than the small triangle, but we times 4. Even though the length is 2 times, but to get the area we have to times 2 square, which is times 4, right? So I hope you understand lah. But this one you don't have to write today's dalam working, right? This one is just I want to explain using another concept. Okay, so yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Number 10. Okay, looks like a difficult question. So let's read the question. Diagram 6 shows a structure which consists of semicircle. Okay, I'm sure it's talking about this semicircle. 2 quadrants. So maybe it's this quadrant and this quadrant. And then a rectangle. Okay, everything is there already. So they say given the length and the width of rectangle is 2y cm. The length and width of rectangle is 2y cm x cm. So length of the rectangle 2y, okay, width is x cm, okay. The perimeter of building is 100 cm. So perimeter equals to 100 cm. So I assume it's talking about this whole panjang punya lah is 100, right? So how to do this question? They say, okay, let's read first. Use pi is 3.142. Show that the area of structure is given by this one. And obviously, they never press the pi. You can see the pi is there. So don't, how to say? Don't press the pi. Okay, how do we show that the area is this? Okay, first of all, look at this. This is L in terms of what? L in terms of X or Y? In terms of Y, right? So it means I have to use the perimeter information to find X. You understand? If this one is in terms of X, then you use the perimeter information to find Y and then substitute, right? So I repeat one more time, the L here stands for area, okay? But since the answer they want is in terms of Y, it means I have to find my X, okay? So that later my L answer will also be in terms of Y, right? That's why I have to find X from here. So how do we find X from here? Okay, perimeter means all the sides add together, right? So we already know this panjang is X. So what if I draw a line across like this? The 2y here is also 2y. So what is the radius of the semicircle? it will be y, right? Because y divided 2, it will be y here. Okay. And if this is x, from here to here also, here to here also, x, right? And then here to here also, x. Okay. And what else? Here to here should be y, right? Here to here should be y. Here also should be y. Okay. Because this panjang and this panjang, I think it has to be same. Yeah. Because if it's not same, then tak ada cara lain already, right? Oh yeah. I know why is it same already. Because imagine this, the semicircle here is y, right? So if I tarik satu line atas, this is the radius also y. So definitely this is y also lah. And since this is the radius of semicircle, here also radius, so here will be y also. So yeah, everything makes sense. So this is y, this is y. Okay. And what about here? Okay, here will be same with here lah. So here will be y, here will be y. So I think I can find the perimeter now. Just take all the sides, add together. So bawah sini it will be 2y plus y plus y, which is 4y. And then tambah sini dengan sini, which is x plus x, which is 2x. And then there's still y and y here, which is 2y. And then plus with these 3 lines, right? Which is the arc, right? So perimeter we only add outside punya garisan, the dalam punya garisan kita tak tambah. So it will be 4y plus 2x plus 2y. So 4y plus 2x plus 2y, but we still need to add with the arc. Okay, which arc formula I will use? I will use the r theta r formula. So r theta is the formula to find arc, right? So r stands for radius, and the radius for semicircle is y, and then the theta is how many degree here? 180, right? And 180 in radian is pi. Because one circle 360 is 2 pi. So 1 radian is pi. But you have to times 2. Okay, anyone understand why I have to times 2? Because if you take y times pi, you are finding the arc from here to here, right? But you still have to plus with this and this. But guess what? If you combine this and this, it will be this, right? Because this is 90 degree, because they already say it's a quadrant. So when you join two quadrants together, you will get a semicircle. That is why I just find the arc for semicircle and then times 2, right? So the arc for semicircle is r theta, which is y times theta, which is pi, and then times 2 lah, right? Okay, now we can find x. Don't forget, I want to find x because later my L has to be in terms of y. That's why I have to find x. So it will be 4y plus 2y, which is 6y, and then plus 2x plus 2 pi y equals 100. And don't forget, I want to find x. Okay, everything can divide 2, right? So divide 2, divide 2, divide 2, divide 2. Okay, now I can find my x. It will be 50 minus pi y minus 3y. But of course, this is not the answer. This is just x. Now only I can start to find the area of the structure. So how do we find area? We use L to represent area, and then how to find area? Okay, first we can take area of rectangle, which is x times 4y, right? So it will be 4y times x, right? But later, instead of writing x, you have to write this, right? Okay, tak apa, we tulis x dulu. Okay, 4y times x, and then plus with what? The area of this one, right? And you don't have to find all of it. You just find area of semicircle and then times 2. Because this quadrant, these two quadrant, you can actually combine these two quadrant become semicircle, right? So you just find one area of semicircle and then times 2 can already. How to find area of circle? The formula you use is 1/2 r squared theta, right? So what would be the r this time? Y lah, y. The radius is y square. And then theta in radian, okay, the theta is 180 degrees, but in radian it's pi 180. Okay, and then have to times 2 in front. Why? Because I mentioned already, this 1/2 r squared theta is only for semicircle. And then what about these two quadrant? They can also combine together to form another same size semicircle. That's why just times 2 like that, right? Okay, 2 and 2 obviously can cut, so you're left with plus pi y squared at the back. But the problem is you want your answer to look like this later. It means in terms of y. That is why the x just now I find it, right? It's because I want to substitute here lah, like this. But if one day if the exam they ask in terms of x here, then you have to find y here. Macam tu, alright? So hope you understand. Okay, 4y times 5 is 200y. And then 4y times 5y is 4 pi y square. And then 4 times 3 is 12y square plus pi y square. Let's see. 200y I can tulis dulu. And then negative 4 pi y square plus 1 pi y square is just negative 3 pi y square. And then negative 12y square, just negative 12y square, right? And now I will factorize out the y, right? So when I take out the y factorize, it will left with 200. 3 pi y square, when I take out, it left with 3 pi y, and then minus 12 y square, I take out 1y, I left with 1y. And kenapa saya keluarkan y? So that my answer will be same with this lah. That's why I take it out. So you can see it's exactly sama already. So once it's same already, then we can write shown, right? Because they want me to show, right? So that's the answer. Sudah siap. Okay, what about B? Okay, let's do B here. Okay, B. B says what? Find the value of y when L is maximum. This is the keyword. L is maximum. Hence, find the maximum value of L. So this is definitely differentiation question. Whenever you do differentiation and whenever you see the word minimum, maximum, turning point, you will differentiate equals 0. Alright? But you differentiate siapa? You tengok dia cakap siapa maximum lah. Kalau dia cakap L maximum, then you differentiate L equation equals 0 lah. Kalau dia cakap X minimum, then you differentiate X equation equals 0. Alright? So since this question is saying L maximum, so you differentiate L equation equals 0. And where is the L equation? This one, right? But you, if boleh expand, before you differentiate, if boleh expand, you have to expand first. So let's expand this whole thing. You will get 200y minus 3 pi y square minus 12y square, right? And then now you will differentiate. When you differentiate, you will write dl dy. And don't forget, you will equal 0 later. After you differentiate, right? Okay, so what is differentiate this one? Okay, straight away do dl dy equals 0 lah, right? So what is dl dy now? Differentiate 200y, 200. Differentiate this one, 6 pi y, because 2 times 3 pi is 6, and then power minus 1, and then minus 2 times 12 is 24y, like this, right? So now how to find y? Okay, now I think you need to put in the pi 3.142 already, right? So let's press calculator. Negative 6 times 3.142, and then minus 24. Okay, my calculator gives me negative 42.852y. And then the 200 move to the other side, become negative 200. So to find y now, I just have to take 200, divide answer. And the negative will hilang. So it's 4.667, right? So that will be the answer for y. Okay, but this is y. Y is the what? You see, y is the radius of the semicircle, right? So it should be in cm, right? So I think I should write the cm. Okay. Okay, let's see what they want. Find the value of y when L is maximum. So is this the value of y? Yes. But then they say hence find the maximum value of L. It means it's not finished yet. After they say find value of y when L is maximum, they also want to find maximum of L. So how? Take the y maximum, ganti into the original equation to get L lah. So I have to continue. It means I have to continue here. L equals to 200. And then y, I will put in the 4.667, and then refer here minus 3 pi y square, and then the y I will substitute with 4.667 again, and then minus 12y square. Okay, y square, and then the y is 4.667, and then just press all this inside the calculator, and make sure the pi you press bracket 3.142. Okay, let's press 200 bracket 4.667 close bracket minus 3 bracket 3.142 close bracket open bracket 4.667 close bracket, and then minus 12 open bracket 4.667 close bracket square. Okay, my calculator give me 628.04. But the schema give different answer. Did I press correctly? Okay, let me press one more time. 200 bracket 4.667, right? And then minus 3 pi. So 3 bracket 3.142 lah. Oh, okay. I think I know where I pressed wrongly. So minus 3 bracket 3.142 close bracket, and then open bracket 4.667 close bracket, and then minus 12. Oh, this one got square lah. This one. Okay, I got write it, but I forgot to press it. So got square, and then only you minus 12 bracket 4.667 close bracket square. Hey, 200 4.667 close bracket minus 3 bracket 3.142 close bracket open bracket 4.667 close bracket square, and then minus 12 bracket 4.667 close bracket square again. Okay, I get it already. 466.72. So if you press everything correctly, you get 466.72, and it's cm square because this one is area, right? So I forgot to press square just now. That's why I get different answer, right? This one got square. Okay, so did I finish the question? Find value of y and then find value of L. So yeah lah, this one value of y, this one value of L. So let's write again. The y maximum here is 4.667 cm and the L maximum here is 466.72 cm square. Right? Don't forget to write the L. Okay. So L equals to 466.72 cm square. So these are both this value is the answer, right? They are both the answers. Okay, let's do question C. So question C, given that the radius of semicircle increases at the rate. Okay, the moment you see this word rate, it means this is a rate of change question, and rate means over time. Over time. So if I say rate means dia mesti over dt. So I will do it here, my C part. So the moment it says radius increases at rate means over dt. But atas I will write dr because it says the radius, right? So radius of semicircle is 0.7. Actually you cannot use dr lah. You have to use dy actually, because in this case your radius of semicircle is y. Do you remember? Yeah, so that's why I have to write dy dt, right? And then it says when the structure is heated, increase, and then find the rate of change of area, which is dA dt, because rate means over dt lah, and then area so dA. But since just now I already used L to represent area, let's write L also. So the dL rate of change of area of building nak cari when the radius is 12. So instead of writing R12, you write y equals 12, because I already said in this question the semicircle radius is represented using y, right? So after you write all this, what you do is you kosongkan satu part and then write this line equals to line darab line, right? Do you remember this? This is how we do rate of change. And how I teach you, sini dengan sini mesti dt, and then sini sama, sini sama. But look at the information. dt sudah tulis bawah sini, so it's left with dy and dl. So it's either dl dy ataupun dy dl. So which one do you think? Mestilah dl dy. Sebab apa? Sebab your equation just now is l in terms of y, right? So your dl dy is this one lah, right? But if you write dy dl, then you have to find dy dl already. Tapi boleh juga sebenarnya, tapi you kena jadi 1/, macam ni lah. It means the whole thing terbalik. But janganlah susahkan sendiri, just buat macam tu saja cukup, right? So dl dt you want to find at the end. This is your final answer. Okay, let me write again. Okay, tunggu saya sekejap. Okay, do I have any space down here? Okay, I don't have space already. Okay, can I write here? I just put a bracket. Okay, I just put arrow like this. I write here lah. Okay, so this one is continuous C here. So dl dt saya memang nak cari in the end. I want to find this at the end. And then dl dy tak ada sekarang. Tapi dy dt ada bagi 0.7. So dy dt I know is 0.7. So what I have to find now? I have to find the dl dy, right? But I already know my dl dy. My dl dy is 200 minus 6 pi y minus 24y, right? But the y have to substitute with what? So my dl dy, it will be 200 minus 6 pi y minus 24y. But the y I have to substitute with what? With this y lah, the y yang dia bagi dalam soalan, which is 12, right? So now you press this whole thing and then masuk sini and then buat lah, right? Okay, let's press 200 minus 6 times 3.142 times 12 minus 24 times 12. Okay, my calculator give me negative 314.224. Ayo, why so ugly one? Okay, tak apa, tulis je 314.224. And then this dl dy you put in here. Negative 314.224. Okay. 314.224. And don't forget to times with 0.7, right? Because the dy dt just now given here is 0.7. And now you just press this whole thing lah. And then the calculator will give you the final answer. Okay, my calculator gives me negative 219.9568. But I don't think you can just write 2 decimal places, so 219.956096. Right. So I think this is good enough. And don't forget to write the unit. So L is area. Area will be cm square, and then time is second. But since the time duduk bawah, so -1, right? So it will be cm square -1, right? Because everything is in cm, right? And then time is in second. So that's why it's cm square per second. Okay. Okay, question number 11. Let's go. This is probability distribution, right? So if it's normal distribution, I have to tengok jadual lah. Tapi kalau dia binomial, then kita boleh terus buat. Tapi kena guna formula binomial lah. Okay, let's read the question first. The mass of durian produced from a farm follows a normal distribution. Okay, this paper, they never provide me the jadual. So I need to use another state paper. So let me just take out the jadual for a while. Wait for me. Okay, I'm gonna use the Sabah state paper punya. Okay, is it clear? Okay, okay, I think you can see it, right? So, yeah, I think I can use this, right? But first step, I have to erase all this first. Okay. Yeah, I have to erase all this because this is like the working for the previous video. Okay. So let me erase this. So later I'll just use this jadwal, okay, to do it. Okay, let's go back to this question. Okay. All right, let's read the question. The mass of durian produced from a farm follows a normal distribution. So definitely have to use the jadwal. That's why you see me open up the jadwal just now. With a mean of 1.2. So let's write down the mean. Okay, so mean equals to 1.2, comma. It is given that the probability of durian chosen at random from the farm have a mass less than 2 kilo is 0.9452. So this is the probability. So I'll write P, what is it? Mass less than 2. So mass less than 2. Less than 2 equals to 0.9452 kg. It means it's Px less than 2, and the x represents mass, right? Equals to 0.9452, right? And then the A says what? If a worker chooses at random 5 durian, it means n is 5 lah. N is 5, right? Find the probability that all the 5 durian have mass less than 2 kg. Find the probability. Oh, so it means what is your probability of success? It means actually, okay, even though this question has the word normal distribution, but the A is actually not normal. The A is binomial actually. So for A, actually, you don't need to use the jadwal. Let me tell you why. Because you already have the probability of mass less than 2 kg, right? So now they just want you to find probability that all 5 durians. So what it means is actually, you will just take the 0.9452 power 5. Then you get the answer already, right? Let me explain why. It's because out of the 5 durians, maybe the possible values of x is maybe 0 success or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? What does it mean by 5 success? It means 5 durian, 5 pun dia punya mass less than 2 kg. It means that the mass less than 2 kg punya probability, that will be the probability of success, which is 0.9452. That will be the P. And then your Q will be 1 minus this. So let me press, see what I get. 1 minus 0.9452, which is 0.058, 0.0548. So that is the probability of failure, right? But since they want you to find probability that all 5 durian have mass less than 2 kg, it means you are finding Px equals 5. So you are taking 5C5, and then probability of success, which is 0.9452 power 5, and then 0.0548 power 0, because 5 minus 5 0. So 5C5 is 1, this one power 0 is 1. So that's why I say you just tekan 0.9452 power 5. So you get 0.7544. Okay, so I hope you understand why you can do it like this. It's because they want you to find probability that 5 durian have mass less than 2 kg, and you already have 0.9452, which is the mass less than 2 kg punya probability. That's why you just power 5. Macam tu. Okay. Then what about the mean? Okay, I think the mean so far for A we never use it, right? Maybe for B then only we will use the mean, right? Okay, let's see B what they want. 4 workers are each tasked with choosing randomly 5 durians from the farm. So 4 workers choose, and then they each choose 5 durian. It means one worker choose 5, the second worker choose 5, the third worker choose 5, the fourth worker choose 5. It means at the end you will end up with 20 durian. And then find probability that more than 2 workers choose randomly all 5 durian that have mass less than 2 kg. Okay, let's not look at this first because this will confuse us. More than 2 workers choose randomly. This one don't look at more than 2, jangan tengok dulu. Kita tengok yang ni dulu. All 5 durian have mass less than 2 kg. can you tell me what is my probability of success for this question? What would be my probability of success? It will not be 0.9452 because 0.9452 is the probability that satu durian less than 2 kg. But for B, the probability of success is actually all 5 because one worker will choose 5 durian. So how is it that the experiment considered success is when the one worker choose 5 durian with mass less than 2 kg? Means your probability of success is actually 0.7544 because 7544 is the probability of all durian have mass less than, then this baru you punya P, and then your Q will be 1 minus this, right, which is 0.2456. Okay, it means your N is 4. Your N is 4. Okay, and then maybe 0 worker success. It means tak ada satu worker pun yang dapat 5 durian, 5 durian mass less than 2 kg, or maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, right? 4 means 4 worker, all 4 successful. All 4 also get 5 durian less than 2 kg, right? That is why the P here you have to masuk probability yang 5 durian less than 2 kg. Right? That is why here you have to put 0.7. So now you can find Px. Now we look at this. Find probably that more than 2 workers, so bigger than 2 lah. Oh, tak boleh ada line, just bigger than 2. It means you will take Px equals 3 plus Px equals 4, right? Because bigger than 2 means you the 2 tak payah ambil, just 3 dengan 4 saja. So let's put in the formula. So which formula? The binomial formula. Okay. So this question very special, right? Even though they mentioned normal, but this one we do it using binomial formula, right? So maybe part C then only use normal punya jadual. Okay, tak apa, we continue here first. So Px equals 3, so it'll be what? NC3, which is 4C3, and then bracket P, which is 0.7544, and then bracket Q, which is 0.2456. And then the power will be, this power will be same with the number down here, which is 3, and then 4 minus 3 is 1, right? And don't forget to plus with Px equals 4. So it's 4C4, and then the probability of success, 0.7544, and then 0.2456. And the power will be 4 here because same with down here, and then 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay, now it's time to press calculator. 4C3, which is 4 times 0.7544 power 3, and then times 0.2456. Surah silap. I silap tekan. Wait, let me betulkan. Okay, I get 0.4218. So let's write down 0.4218. But I have to plus with this one, right? But this one you don't have to press this because 4C4 is 1. This one power 0 also 1. Just press 0.7544 power 4. Okay, 0.3239. And then plus them together lah. And then plus 0.4218. Okay, my calculator give me 0.74569. So 7457. So what is this? This is the probability. Probability of more than 2 workers choose randomly all 5 durian less than 2 kg. That's what it means. Okay, this is the B part. Now we can do part C, right? Okay, let's do part C down here, right? Okay, part C I will do here. Okay, this one part C, Okay, a durian is chosen at random from the form. Find the standard deviation of the durian that have mass less than 2 kg. Okay, they want to find standard deviation, right? So can we use the information up here? Mean 1.2? Yes, right? So the mean we actually know is 1.2. But I want you to know, you cannot use the NP formula. Cannot. Because this one actually you have to use, it's actually a normal distribution question. You have to use the normal punya cara to find. So the NP formula we only use when it's a binomial punya soalan, right? So this is actually a normal distribution question. So don't use the NP formula, please. All right, and also don't use the square root NPQ to find standard deviation. The proper way now is to use the jadual. Yeah, the jadual. Tapi you kena tukar jadi Z dulu. So they want to find standard deviation mass less than 2 kg, right? So if they want less than 2 kg means you have to find Px less than 2. That's what it means. Mass less than 2, right? And do we have the Px less than 2 punya probability? Yes, which is 0.9452, right? So the 0.9452, okay, I can put it here. But whenever you tengok jadual, you have to make sure it's Z value. So that's why the Z here have to change to, wait, did I do it correctly? I think yes, right? So yeah, so it means that I have to change to Z value, and the formula is 2 minus mean divide standard deviation. But the standard deviation I don't have, right? That's why they only me to find. And then equals to 0.9452, right? So the reason why I'm changing X to Z is because I want to tengok jadual later, right? Kalau tengok jadual kena Z value baru boleh tengok, right? And then 2 minus 1.2 boleh buat, it will become PZ smaller than 0.8 over standard deviation equals 0.9452. And kalau dalam tak boleh buat, saya akan let C equals to 0.8 divide standard deviation. And after I let C, I can write PZ. Okay, I sambung here lah. I can write PZ, and then this whole thing becomes smaller than C equals to 0.9452. And now you cannot tengok jadual first, because when you tengok jadual, you have to make sure it's Z bigger positive. Now it's Z smaller, and the C you don't know is positive or negative. So the step now is to lukis, right? And you lukis dua kali, because you don't know your C is positive or negative. So it could be negative, it can be it can be positive, right? Okay, if smaller means where I have to lower it, sebelah kiri, left side. And only one of these is correct. So which one is correct? Look at the area now. Look at the probability. It's 0.9. So if it's more than 0.5 means your area is more than half. So we will go with this. Means this one is wrong. So your C is actually positive. So it means later after you tengok jadual, you don't have to tambah negative sini because your C is positive, right? And if your C is positive, what you have to do? 1 minus. Because if you look at the shaded region, dia sudah cross over to the other side. Saya sudah bagi tahu dalam kelas, if your shaded region ada potong y-axis macam ni, you kena ambil 1 minus. 1 minus apa? Yang you tak mau, which is PZ bigger C equals to 0.9452. And to get the PZ bigger positive C now, you have to pindah 1 minus 0.9452. Okay, my calculator give me 0.0548. And now baru you boleh tengok jadual. Tapi you tengok dalam atau tengok luar? Okay, if you look at the jadual, this is the Z value. So if you have the Z value, you tengok luar, right? But if you don't have the Z value, you will tengok dalam. So if you look at this, the 0.058 is not the Z value. 0.058, you cannot baca macam ni, 0.054, cannot. This is not the Z value. 0.0548 is the probability. So you have to baca dalam macam ni, right? It means you don't have the Z value now, right? That's why you kena tengok dalam and then baca luar, right? So now we have to tengok dalam dulu. So we have to find 0.0548 ataupun lebih sikit. So let's go to jadual. 0.0548 ataupun lebih sikit. 0.05, oh, sekejap sudah nampak dah. So it's actually 1.60 is the answer. You don't have to tolak anything because this is 0.0548, right? Dia tak ada lebih sikit pun. Dia tak ada extra. So kalau ada extra, then only your answer will have 3 decimal place. If it's tepat-tepat like this, then the answer straight away is 1.60. So now we can go back there and then just write 1.60 and then sudah siap, right? You don't have to tambah negative, because you already tried just now. The C is positive, right? Okay, how do we? Okay, let's erase this. Okay, don't forget they're asking you to find standard deviation. So your C is 0.8 divided standard deviation, right? So it means what? 0.8 divided standard deviation equals to C. So your C is 1.6. So now to get your standard deviation, you just press 0.8 divide 1.6, which is 0.5 kg, right? So the standard deviation is 0.5 kg. Okay. All right. So let's continue with number 2. Hence, find the probability that the mass is more than 1.5. So px bigger 1.5 lah. But you have to tengok jadual later. So kena tukar jadi z. So you take 1.5 minus mean, which is 1.2, divide standard deviation 0.5. And now you get pz bigger than 1.5 minus 1.2 is 0.3. Divide 0.5, 0.6. So now it's already Z bigger positive. Now you can tengok jadual. Okay, now when you tengok jadual, you will tengok luar. Because you have the Z value. So you can straight away tengok 0.6 and then cari 0 and then terus baca. Because if you have the Z value, you can terus tengok luar. So let's go to jadual. We baca 0.6 from the outside. So from the outside, you see Z value, right? This one Z value. So baca 0.6, 0. This is the answer. Right? So 0, ini cara untuk baca jadual. 0.2743. So let's go back there. 0.2743. That's the answer. Okay. This is the probability that the mass is more than 1.5 kg. Okay. Sudah siap. You don't have to write any unit lah because this one is probability. Probability tak ada unit. Okay. Okay, now we are at bahagian C. Bahagian C, they will give you 4 questions and you will choose 2 questions, right? But I will do 3 of them. 3 of them means I will not do the kinematics, all right? And I will do 3 questions lah. I will do index number, linear programming, solution of triangle. All right, the kinematics, I won't do it. Okay, number 12, let's read. Table 3 shows information related to 4 main ingredients and the quantity used by Mr. Rahim to make kueh bingka. So this is index number, got 4 ingredients. So this all will be a very important keyword later. So if you never see this keyword in the question, remember to use composite index. Okay, if they never mention the keyword. Okay, price per kg. So this is Q21. Price we the symbol we use here is Q. So this one is Q22, right? Price we always use Q. Or maybe some student want to use P, can also. Okay, this one is price index in the year 2022 based on 2021. So price index. So this is the I lah. And for what year? 2022 based on 2021. So 2022 atas, all right? The newer year have to be atas, all right? And then quantity used will be the weightage. This is quantity used is like weightage, right? It's like ratio. So ratio means weightage, all right? And then they say find the value of x and y. This one's so easy. So how to find x and y? I'll just do it up here lah. All right, x and y. So to find x is actually the I. So we use the first formula in this chapter lah. So how to find I? The formula is price bahagi darab 100. The formula to find I is take price divide price times 100. But do you take 6 divide 4.8 or 4.8 divide 6? You will take 6 divide 4.8 because always put the 2022 punya price have to put atas. So the newer year have to be on top and then times 100. And then you press this, you'll get your answer. Okay, my calculator give me 125. So my x is 125, right? And you don't have to write any unit for this, because index number there's no unit. And then how to find y? Okay, you will take 3 divide y times 100 equals to 109, right? So not y divide, bukan y divide 3, 3 divide y, because always put the newer year atas. So let's pindah the 100. 109 divide 100 is 1.09, and if you want to find y, you have to pindah y ke atas. So when you pindah y atas sini, the 1.09 can pindah balik ke bawah. Means darab jadi bahagi, bahagi jadi darab. Alright. So 3 divide 1.09, you can quickly press. RM 2.75. This one you have to write unit because this one is price. Right? Yang tadi X tak payah unit because X is price index. Right? Tapi yang ini price, so kena tulis. Let's go to do B now. B says the composite index for the cost of producing box of kueh bingka in the year 2022 based on 2021 is 116. So the average composite index means average for 2022 based on 2021, which is a match with this. The average here is 116. Find the value of M. Well, you can use the second formula you learned in this chapter, the composite index, right? So let's use that formula. What is the formula? Sum of what? Sum of I darab W divide with total of W, right? So the symbol we use is this. This is the symbol for composite index. And the year is 2020. Wait. We actually already know the answer is 116. So instead of writing it like this, I think I'll write like this. And then equals to 116, right? Because they already said the composite index is 116, right? So definitely the I dash for 2022 or 21 is 116, right? And then we draw a line, use the formula, and then equal 116. Okay, what is the formula for composite index? Total of IW divide total of W. So IW have to times together. And you have to make sure the I punya year kena sama dengan sini. So you can see sama already. 22, 21, 2022, 2021. So sudah sama. So now we can use this. So it will be 125 times 150. Or you have to make sure they are same unit. Gram. Okay, this one later it will come out in gram also. Plus 109 times 150 plus 105 times 100 plus 120 times M. And then divide total weightage is just 150 plus 150 plus 100 plus M. Okay, now we will buat bawah dulu. Right, so bawah is M, 150 is 300 plus 100 is 400. And then atas macam mana nak buat? Okay, the 120 M dia seorang saja ada M, so dia tu kita biarkan. And then these three we add together lah. So use calculator. 125 times 150 plus 109 times 150 plus okay, my calculator give me 45600. So write it down, and then the whole thing equals to 116. And let's continue here. So this whole thing now I will pindah atas. So now it becomes 116 times m, which is 116m, and then 400 times 116. Let's press calculator, see what I get. Okay, my calculator give me 46400. So write it down. And then in front here, there will be 120m plus 45600. And then pindah m dengan m boleh buat. 120 minus 116 is 4m. And this one pindah sana lah. So it becomes 6400 minus 5600. Okay, I got 800. So now to get m is very easy. Just divide 4, which is 200. And I think it's gram, yeah. So yeah, that's the answer. Okay, now we can do part C. Okay, part C says what? Can I do here part C? Is it possible? Okay, let's do here. Okay, the increment means increase. The increase in the cost of producing kueh bingka in the year 2023 from 2022 is the same as increment in the cost of producing kueh bingka from 2021 to 2022. Did you realize they never say which ingredient? They just say kueh bingka. It means it's talking about average now. It's talking about composite index. So the composite index from 2023 to 2022 is the increment is same as increment from 2021 to 2022. Means the composite index from 23 to 22 is the same with composite index for 21 22, and the 21 22 composite index is given here already. 21, wait, why I cannot write? 21 and 22 is 116, so the 23 and 22 also 116, right? Okay, here here 22 21 is 116, 23 22 also 116. They are the same. Okay, now let's see what else they say. The cost price of kueh bingka is 11 ringgit. This one is 2021 punya price. So to write this information, you have to use Q, and then it's 2021, and the price is 11, right? And then they say find the selling. Oh, this one is cost price. Okay, so I have to write carefully. So it's cost price, and then the selling price. Find the selling price of kueh bingka if Mr. Rahim wants to obtain a profit of 25% in the year 2023. Okay, let's ignore the selling price for 2023. Let's find the cost price for 2023 first, right? Let's find the cost price first, right? Okay, we don't focus on the 25% first. Okay, let's find the cost price. Then only we worry about that later. Okay, when we find Q, definitely have to use the first formula. And what is the first formula? I equals to price bahagi price times 100. And in this case, definitely the price have to be 23, and then the price have to be 21, right? Because the new year here is 2023, and then the old year is 2021. So the I here, you also have to put 23 over 21. And guess what? This I will be the composite index, because the question never mentioned which ingredient. It's actually talking about the whole kueh bingka. So that's why here you have to put composite index. But the problem is I don't have the 23 21 punya composite index. I don't have. I only have 23 22, which is 116, and I also have 22 21 punya composite, which is 116. But 23 21 I don't have, right? So the proper way now, the correct way now is to use smiley face method first, because now if you look at the whole question, got 3 year happening in one question, 21 22 23. That is why before we use the first formula, we have to do the smiley face method. And the smiley face is you write down the year here, which is 2021, 2022, 2023, like this. Okay. And this number here you can use to write I ataupun composite index. You can use to write I also can, composite index also can. But for this case, you will use to write composite index lah, because you want the composite index. So 23, 22, which is this one, is 116, and then 22, 21, 116, you write here also. All right. Please don't go and use all these. These are all the I. You want the composite index. All right. So now you are finding the composite index for 23, 21. So how do you find this? So the composite index for 23, 21 will be these two darab and then divide 100, right? So remember this, out of these 3 lines, which one is the longest line? The bawah one, right? So the bawah longest line will always be the other 2 times together divide 100. So let's press. Okay, my calculator give me 134.56. But of course, this is not the answer. This is just the composite index for the year 2023 based on 2021. Now you can use this formula. The composite index 2021 is 134.56. So it will be equals to, now you use the first formula, Q23, which is price in 2023. but it's the cost price, huh? And then divide with Q21, which is 11 times 100. So now, to get the Q23, you just have to pindah. So what is 134.56? Divide 100 times 11. Divide 100 times 11 because it's like this one pindah, right? So 14.8016. But this is price, so I don't think you have to write 8016. I think it's 80 is enough. And write RM lah. But don't forget, this is the cost price, right? Because I remember the question mentioned something about 25%. So let's read again. Find the selling price. So this is not the selling price, this is the cost price, right? Find the selling price of Kueh Bingka if Mr. Rahim wants to obtain profit of 25% in the year 2023. It means this price is the cost price. What is cost price? Cost price means the money you spend to make the product. That's cost price. But they want to find selling price. So when you sell, will you sell for 14 ringgit 80 cents? No, because if you sell this amount means you will not earn any profit. You definitely have to sell more than this, right? So that you can earn profit. So how much profit you want to earn? 25%. So what is the selling price then? So I'll just write here selling price. You will take 14.80 plus with what? You have to plus with 25%, which is 25 over 100 times with the 14.8. Then you will get the selling price. You faham? Because when you sell, you have to sell more than this, right? But if you want to earn 25% profit, you have to plus with 25% of this amount lah. So now you just press all this inside the calculator, right? So let me press 14.8 times 0.25 plus 14.8. Okay, my calculator give me 18.5. So 18.50 lah. And then don't forget to write RM. You have to write the zero because this is price, right? Price always write 2 decimal place. So this is the selling price, right? Okay, I know some student they will say something like, hey sir, you can also do it like this, 14.8 times 125 over 100. Can also. Can also. All right. You will get the same answer if you do like this, right? Because if you want to earn profit 25%, it means your selling price will be 125% of that amount. So yeah, you want to do it like this, can also. It's actually faster if you do it like this. Okay, so this is how you get 10 marks, right? Okay, let's continue with question number 13. I think this is solution of triangle, right? Just by looking at the diagram, you know it's solution of triangle. Okay, so let's see. Diagram 7 shows a quadrilateral PQRS. Let's see PQRS on a horizontal plane. Okay, no problem. TSQP is a pyramid. TSQP is pyramid. So it's actually a 3D shape. Okay, so a lot of students are very weak at this type of question where they give you 3D, but it's not difficult one lah. Yeah? Just okay, let's read. PQ is 10 cm. So PQ, okay, 10, right? 10. Okay, PS is 12. Okay, PS is 12. Okay, tulis saja. T is 5 cm vertically above B. T is 5 cm vertically. So TP punya jarak is 5 lah. Okay, what you have to be careful here is this word. You have to take note this word vertically. If it's a 3D diagram and they say vertically, it means here will be 90 degree, here will be 90 degree, right? Because T is 5 cm vertically above P, though definitely it's 90, 90 lah. Even though it doesn't look like 90, it looks like a obtuse angle, but it's still 90. Okay, the reason why it doesn't look like 90 is because it's a 3D diagram. But they mention here is vertically, so that's enough proof already that this is 90, right? And guess what? You can use Pythagoras theorem to find this and this, right? But let's not find it first. If they ask, then only we find it, all right? Okay, so A says find the value of M. So how to find value of M? Where is M? Here, right? Okay, I will tell you straight away. You will use this triangle to find M. Okay, some student might say something like this. Oh, sir, I thought can use Pythagoras theorem because this one is 10, 12. Hey, hello, this is not 90 lah. If this is 90, then can lah. You can use Pythagoras theorem. Then you can use 10 square plus 12 square. But this is not 90. Only here and here is 90. This down here is definitely not 90. That is why you cannot use atas punya triangle. Atas punya triangle is not even enough information. The only way is to use bawah punya triangle. And which formula you will use? Remember when you have two lines and one included angle and you're trying to find the other side? This is cosine rule, right? I asked you to hafal already, ma. Cosine rule only have two cases only, right? It's either they give you two side and then one included angle and then find the remaining side. Ataupun bagi tiga side and then ask to find any angle inside. So only these two cases can use cosine rule. And then all the other case is sine rule punya case, right? So definitely this one you use cosine rule because it's this case, right? So what we do now? We use cosine rule lah. Do you remember what's the cosine rule formula? A square equals to B square plus C square minus 2BC cos big A, right? So this A and this A has to be opposite of each other. This angle has to be opposite of this side, right? So since we are finding this and the opposite of the angle, that's the A, right? So opposite of angle is square root M, so that is the small a. So it will be square root M square equals what? The other two side square, so 21 square plus 19.5 square minus 2 bracket 21 bracket 19.5 cos the angle, which is 64, right? And 64 and the side here, they are opposite of each other. Okay, what is 64? What is square root M square? You can cut left with M lah, right? And then now we press all of this inside the calculator. So let's press 21 square plus 19.5 square minus 2 bracket 21 and then bracket 19.5 close bracket cos 64. Okay, my calculator give me 462.22. Okay, 462.22. And this one is cm. Okay, usually when you do cosine rule, there's a square root here, right? But why there's no square root for this question? Because the square root and square cut already. So your m is 462.22. So what will be the panjang for QS? Square root 462.22 lah, because to find QS is square root m, right? Okay, let's find it lah, because I think you will need it later. So square root answer, what is it? 21.50. But don't write the 21.50 in your answer. Write it in diagram. Just write it in diagram here, right? So now we read B and see what it wants. Okay, B says find RSQ. Yeah, this one easy also. How to find RSQ? RSQ, where is it? RSQ, this one lah. So definitely you won't be using the atas punya triangle. Definitely using this triangle. And which formula you will use now? Of course, you can tell me use cosine rule can also, because you have three sides already, right? So you can use cosine rule. But actually, using sine rule is way better, because sine rule is much more easy to use, right? And why we can use sine rule for this question? Because in order to use sine rule, you need to have the opposite of what you want and satu pair. So do you have the opposite of what you want? Yes. And do you have satu pair? Yes. That is why you can use sine rule, right? So remember, when you use sine rule, you need to make sure you have opposite of what you want and satu pair yang complete. So we have it now. So apa yang you nak cari sekarang? Angle. So sine kena duduk atas. So sine QSR ataupun RSQ sama saja. Sine RSQ over the opposite of what you want is 19.5 equals to the complete pair. And it has to be angle atas also. So sine 64 over 21.50, right? And then now you can find your sine RSQ, which is this one, bahagi this one, darab this one. So use calculator. Sine 64 divide 21.5 times 19.5. Okay, my calculator give me 0.8152. But this is not the answer. You still have to tekan shift sign answer. So what is shift sign answer? So when you shift sign this, you will get 54 degree 36 minute, right? So 54 degree 36 minute. You can also write 54.61 degree, is up to you, but I'll write in degree minute. Okay, you can write in decimal also can. Okay, there is one more thing you need to be careful here. Whenever you tekan shift sign, you need to know that there is actually two answer. One answer is in quadrant 1, one answer is in quadrant 2. But if you use your eyes to check here, you can clearly tell this is a quadrant 1 angle, right? Because 90 degree is like this. Like this is 90 degree. So this is less than 90. So that is why I never take 180 minus. But you have to be careful, because sometimes memang they want you to take the quadrant 2 angle, right? So you actually don't need the soalan to tell you whether it's more than 90 or less than 90. You can use your eyes to verify yourself, right? So make sure whenever you take shift sign, always double check with the angle and check whether it's a quadrant 1 or quadrant 2 angle. But this one is quadrant 1. That is why I never take 180 minus, right? Because even if I do that, I will cross out the other answer also. So that's why this is the only answer. Okay. Okay. C. Area of inclined plane STQ. Where is STQ plane? So STQ is this plane, right? So how do we find area? Okay, when we find area, we need to have we need to make sure we have some information. Then only we can find area, right? Okay, let's do it here. I want to find area of STQ. So let's draw it out like this. STQ. Do we have the SQ panjang? Yes, 21.50. What about the ST panjang? We don't have, but we can find, right? We can find. So how to find? I already mentioned you can use Pythagoras theorem. So it will be square root 5 square plus 12 square, right? Plus because you are finding the hypotenuse, right? And you will get 13 here. So this is 13. And then this one also you can find. It will be 5 square plus 10 square. Let's press calculator. square root answer. Okay, my calculator give me 11.18, right? So this is the TQ punya panjang. But in order to find area, you have to use the formula you learn in your syllabus is for area in this chapter is 1/2 AB sine C. And what is A, what is B, what is C? A and B is any two sides, and C will be the two sides punya included angle, right? So do you have any two sides? Okay, you have all sides already, but the problem is you don't have any angle, right? You don't have this angle, you don't have this angle, you don't have this angle, right? And you cannot tell me that, oh sir, this angle is this angle plus this angle. No, you cannot do it like that. This is a 3D diagram, so you cannot do it like that. So you actually don't have this angle, right? So how to do it? And also, you cannot tell me something like, oh, sir, just now you have the 54° 36', and then maybe you say something like, find the whole thing here and then tolak here. Cannot. This is 3D diagram. 3D diagram, you cannot find like this, right? Because it's a 3D diagram. So how do you find it? Okay, I think I can use cosine rule, right? Because when you do cosine rule, can you see when you have three sides, you can actually find any angle inside by using cosine rule. I even draw it out already, right? So you can use cosine rule first to find any angle. Let's say you find this angle, then you will use then only use the area formula lah. 1/2 times this one times this one times sine this angle, right? I think you can do it like that. But I want to use another method, which is called the Heron's formula. Do you remember this Heron's formula? What is Heron's formula? Heron's formula, you can use it to find area, and the formula is like this: square root S bracket S minus A bracket S minus B bracket S minus C, where S is actually the A plus B plus C over 2. This is the Heron's formula, right? And we use Heron's formula to find area, right? So this formula we actually jarang guna, right? We jarang guna actually, because most of the time we use this formula, because for this formula, all cases you can use, right? In most cases you can use this formula. These formulas we seldom use it. But why in this question is actually perfect to use this formula? Because we have three sides, and Heron's formula, you only need to have the side, right? So that is why I use this formula. But even though you use this formula, even if you use the cosine rule formula first, then only use this formula, you will get the same answer. Okay, trust me. So first thing first, if you want to use Heron's formula, you have to find S first. And the S formula is very simple. Is all sides add together divide 2. So 13 plus 21.5 plus 11.18 divide 2. So let's tekan this and see what I get. 13 plus 21.5 plus 11.18. Okay, my calculator give me 45.68. Wait. Did I press it correctly? Macam salah je. So 13 plus 21. Oh, I haven't divide 2. Okay, sorry. Okay, 22.84. So that is the S. And now you can proceed with your area using the Heron's formula. It will be square root. Okay, let's draw a very long garisan here. It'll be until like this, right? And the formula is what? S bracket S minus A, S minus B, S minus C. So what is the S? 22.84. And then bracket, this one is 84. And then bracket 22.84 minus with any side, right? So let's say minus 13, and then 22. And then bracket 24.84 minus with 11.18, and then bracket again 22.84 minus with 21.50. It means every side have to minus sekali lah. Every side have to minus one time. Okay, doesn't matter which one you tolak first. Yang penting semua kena tolak satu kali. And now you press all this inside your calculator. But I recommend you don't press the square root first. You don't press the square root first. You press 22.84 bracket 22.84 minus 13 close bracket, and then open bracket 22.84 minus 11.18, and then close bracket, and then bracket 22.84 minus 21.50 close bracket, and then equal, and then baru you square root. So this one they give me 3511.515, so 52, and then square root answer. Okay, 59.258. So 26. So 59.26, and then cm square. So this is the area. Okay, but if you do it the other method, which is like you use cosine rule to find the angle in between, and then use the 1/2 AB sin C formula, you will get the same answer. You will get jawapan sama, right? So boleh juga lah. Okay, what else they want? So C, they want area of inclined plane. Siapa? Ini jawapan dia, right? So now for my last part, they want to find D, right? So D is what? Okay, find the shortest length in cm from T to SQ. Okay, let me tell you something. This one, they like to ask in exam, shortest length, right? They like to ask this a lot. They always say shortest distance, shortest length. Okay, let me tell you something. Shortest length means you have to think about this 90 degree, right? And let me tell you, when you're doing solution of triangle question and they mention this word, shortest length, shortest distance, you will use area formula. You will use area formula, okay? For solution of triangle. Let me explain. Let me explain. Find the shortest length from T to SQ. Okay, what is shortest length? Okay, imagine this is T. This is okay. So this is T, and this is SQ. So where is the shortest distance? Definitely not 13, definitely not 11.1. It will be the vertical distance down here. It means the perpendicular distance lah, the 90 degree. That will be the shortest distance, right? That is why whenever you see the word shortest ataupun shortest length ataupun shortest distance, you immediately think about the 90 degree, the perpendicular distance, right? So what you're finding now is this height, this distance, right? And how to find this distance? By using area, but not this formula, not the Heron's formula, not this 1/2 AB sin C formula. You will use the 1/2 times base times height formula. 1/2 times base times height. Because this formula this 1/2 times base times height is the formula to find area of triangle. But you cannot use this sometimes. Why? Because your triangle sometimes don't have 90 degree. Like in this chapter, all the triangle we learn mostly don't have 90 degree. Okay. But the moment they mention shortest distance, then got 90 degree already. That is why you can use this formula. So 1/2 times base times height, but which one it will be the base? Look at your height. Your height is this one. So your base must be 21.5 and then times height, right? And the height you don't have, right? But don't worry because you have the area 59.26, right? So remember this. This is actually exam famous. They really like to ask the shortest length one in exam. So whenever they find shortest length, shortest distance, use area. Okay, in this chapter in this solution of triangle question, if you see the word shortest length, shortest distance, you will use 1/2 times base times height formula, right? It means you would use the cara to buat is take area equals area. But the one for one side you will use 1/2 times base times height formula, and for the other side you will use the 1/2 AB sin C formula, right? Ataupun the Heron's formula lah. Okay. So remember, I repeat one more time. When exam asks you to find shortest length, you will always do like this: area equals area. Okay. Tapi satu area you must use the 1/2 times base times height, and then the other one you will use 1/2 AB sin C. Okay. So that's how you do it lah. And then now you pina you can get the answer already. 59.26 times 2 and then divide 21.50. Okay, my calculator give me 5.5125, so 5.513. Okay, and then the unit is cm. Okay, so remember, so for shortest length, shortest distance, you will always, if it's a solution of triangle question, and if you see the word shortest length, shortest distance, mesti you akan guna 1/2 times base times height punya formula. Right, means you will use area to solve. Alright. Okay, I think we are at the last question, number 14. Okay, let's finish it. Okay, let's read the question. Ross Workshop produces two types of chair, P and Q. So there's chair P, chair Q. The production of each type of chair involves two processes, making and painting. Okay. Table 4 shows time taken to make and paint 1 unit of chair of P and 1 unit of chair Q. So this is the time taken to paint 1 unit. So I think this one all not important, blah, 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 not important because I want to know separate X, separate Y, right? So this one I will just skip blah, 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 blah. Okay, I only want this X unit of chair P, Y unit of chair Q. So I always want to know separate X, separate Y dulu, right? So what I do now, I sudah tahu, right? So macam mana? Okay, I think I will write here. So we have chair P and chair Q, and we already know separate X. X is P, right? And then Y is Q. And the XY is the number, bilangan, because it's the unit so it's like bilangan lah. And then now baru kita tengok atas table. So time taken to make. So making, so this one I just say making, time used in making. Time for making is how much? 45 for 1P. But there's X unit, X number of chair P, so it's 45X. And then for chair Q, the making time is 30 minutes. But 30 minutes is for one unit. So if there's Y unit, there's times Y. And then this one is the time to painting. Time painting. Okay, for painting, it will be 50X and then 70Y, like this. Okay, after we write down this, then only we read this paragraph. So A says write 3 inequality, right? So I'm sure in this paragraph, we have to write 3 inequalities. Okay, let's read. The maximum, okay, the moment you see the word maximum, you have to know the symbol is smaller sama dengan, right? Smaller sama dengan. So the maximum total time for making is 5.5 hours. So less than sama dengan 5.5 hours, but this one is making total time for making. So it'll be 45x plus 30y. But there is a problem here. This 45 and 30 is in minutes, but the 5.5 is in hours, so you have to times 60 here. So you will get 45x plus 30y, smaller sama dengan 5.5 times 60. Okay, my calculator give me 330. And kalau boleh kecilkan, I recommend you to kecilkan. So all of these numbers can divide by 15 maybe. So divide 15, 3x, divide 15, 2y, divide 15, I don't know. Let's press. Okay, my calculator give me 22. Yeah, so this one is 22. So now this is your first inequality lah. Now time for your second inequality. Let's see what else. The time for painting both chairs is at least 5 hours. Okay, at least punya symbol is bigger sama dengan. So time for painting both chairs. So 50x plus 70y lah. But this time is bigger sama dengan. Okay, 5 hours, 50 minutes, we have to convert to minutes because everything is in minutes here. So how to convert 5 hours, 50 minutes to minutes? Okay, 5 hours. How to convert to minutes? 5 times 60, which is 300 minutes. And then the 300 minutes have to plus with the 50 minutes. So total is 350 minutes. And kalau boleh kecilkan, I always suggest to kecilkan. So bahagi 10, bahagi 10, bahagi 10. So this is your second inequality, right? And finally, they say what? The ratio of number of P to Q is not less than. Okay, actually this one got masalah already because the Bahasa Melayu version, it says what? Tidak melebihi. Do you know what is tidak melebihi? Not more than. But in the English one, it says not less than. So it's like the Malay version and the English version is not same, right? So actually you have to change this one. This one is not more than. It means we follow the Malay version, right? So actually the soalan salah already. This one is salah type already. This one is not more than. It means smaller sama dengan. Okay, so the soalan you change a bit lah. So let's read one more time. The ratio of chair P to chair Q is not more than 4:5. Okay, ratio of number P to Q. It means X ratio Y or Y ratio X. X ratio Y, right? And ratio can change to fraction. So if I say ratio of P to Q, it means X over Y. And then not less than, not more than, because I already said kena tukar. So not more than means smaller sama dengan 4:5. So 4 or 5. So this is the correct way to write it. Okay. The soalan salah already. Because the soalan, I know it says tidak, it says not less than. Originally it says not less than, but in the Malay it says tidak melebihi. That's why the soalan silap. Okay, soalan silap. Okay, so how to simplify this? You can cross multiply lah. So 5 times x is 5x, smaller sama dengan 4y. And then now you can actually rewrite this into terbalik kan like this. But when you rewrite it like this, what happens to the symbol? So look at the arrow now. The arrow is pointing towards 5x, right? So when you move the 5x to the other side, of course the arrow have to point back to the 5x also, right? And you can actually find y now. So y will be what? 5/4x. Okay, but actually if you stop like this also can one. Like you don't have to stop here, right? But I want to stop here because it looks better, right? It looks better here when the y is like single. And also later I have to lower it, and whenever we lower it, we have to tengok dari y. So it's better to put your y on this side and make it like single and make it positive, right? So yeah, I choose to do it like this. Okay, so I think everything is good now. Now we can draw the graph. But before we draw the graph, we still have one more thing to do. Before we use scale and draw this graph, we have to cari coordinate. Cari coordinate. So can I kecilkan this thing? Is it possible? Okay. If I kecilkan this, then I will have space to cari point here. Okay, the first line is 3x plus 2y equals 22, and then bracket, cari coordinate. The second line is 5x plus 7y equals 36, and then bracket, and then the third line, y equals 5/4x, bracket. Okay, means you cari two coordinate. All right. Okay. When you cari two coordinate, you will usually use x equals 0, y equals 0, right? It's the best point to use, right? It's the easiest one to plot. So if x equals 0, what happens to your y? 22 divided 2, 11. But what if you put y 0? 22 divided 3, I think you'll get an ugly answer. So let's not use this point. Let's change to other point later. What about this? When x equals 0, y equals to 36 divided 7. This one 35 lah. 35, right? This one. Why is it 36? Are you? Sorry. So this one is 35. Sorry, made careless mistake here. So this one is also 35. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Alright, so when x equals 0, 35 divided 7 is 5. And then when y equals 0, 35 divided 5 is 7. Right? Okay, what about this? If x is 0, 0 times 5 over 4, the y is 0. But if you put y 0, the x also 0. So repeat already. So we have to find these 2 points, change to another point lah. Okay, they already said use scale 2 cm to 1 unit. A unit means 1 unit on both axes. So I already asked you to hafal. If x-axis, we will use 8 kotak. If y-axis, we will use 10 kotak. So if 2 cm to 1 unit means here you go until 10, here you go until 10. Here go until 8, here go until 10. So 0, 11 also actually you cannot plot, right? Unless your graph paper got space lah, then you can use it, right? But the graph paper I use later, let's see. Okay, I will pinjam another state paper punya graph. Okay, is there enough space? Oh, not this one. Okay, not this one. This one. Okay, I will use this state paper punya graph paper. Okay, I think I'll use this. So do I have space until 11? Let's label it. So it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Okay, so it's actually enough space, right? So if it's enough space, then yeah, I don't have to erase and find another point lah. But I want you to know sometimes if the point is like it's like not enough space for you to plot, you can change to another point. You can do that. All right. So since this point is okay already, let's find another point. But another point, how to find? Okay, let's see. Okay, originally I tried to put y equals 0, but when I put y equals 0, I get like 22 divided 3, which is like decimal punya, so I don't like it. So let's change to another point. Okay, how to change? You go back to your equation, try to pindah supaya you punya x single. So it will be 22 plus 2y jadi minus 2y, and then times 3 jadi bahagi 3. And then now you try to figure out what y value you can put here. So for y value, there's a lot of numbers you can put. You can put 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, like that, right? So let's try to put 8 maybe and see what happens. Okay, 22 minus 8 times 2 is 16, divide 3. Okay, you end up with 2 actually, right? So it means your x is 2 when y equals to 8. So your point is 2, 8. So actually it's better, right? It's an easier point to plot. Of course, you can put any other point also, or maybe you want to put 1. Can also 1, because 22 minus 2 is cannot lah, 1 cannot. I think you have to maybe put like wait oh, maybe put 3. Put 3 is good, because if you put 3, 3 times 2 is 6. 6, right? And then 22 minus 6. 22 minus 6 is 16. But 16 cannot divide 3, right? Okay, so what other points you can put? 2 times 4. Wait, let me think. 22 minus. Okay, I think you can put 4. 4, right? What am I doing? Actually, it doesn't matter lah, because I already have the point I want, right? 0, 11, and 2, 8, right? So you can just plot already lah. Why am I why am I trying to find another point, right? We only need 2 points. So since we already know 0, 11 is one of the point, so it's like just put it here lah. And then the other point I find just now, I find myself is 2, 8, right? Okay, I forgot to label this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this one is the x-axis. Okay. Okay, so the other point just now I find is 2, 8. So it's here. Okay. So now I have to join these 2 points using a straight line. Okay. So Okay. Okay, let's make this smaller. Okay. So it will look like this. And make sure it got passes through. Okay, so I think it's correct. Okay, 0, 11, and then 2, 8, right? Where I plot it. This one is 2, 8 lah. This one. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the 2, 8 should be something like this. This is 2, 8. Okay, it means this point is wrong. This one have to erase. And this one also have to adjust already because it should be here, right? And then this one is like this. So is it like 0, 11, 0, 11, and then 2, 8? 2, 8. I think have to atas a bit. Okay lah, I think perfect already. 0, 11, 2, 8. Okay, so yeah, let's go back to the graph. Done already. Now we go for the next one, 0, 5, 7, 0. So let's go and plot 0, 5, 7, 0. 0, 5 is here. Oops. 0, 5 is here. And then 7, 0 is here. So when you draw the line, it will look like this. 0, 5, 7, 0. So like this maybe. And then this one you can panjangkan pun tak apa. Okay, perfect. Now let's label the equation. 5x plus 3y equals 35. Make sure you label. If you don't label the equation, later you cannot lorate. This one 35. Okay, don't forget to label the first equation also. I forgot to label the first one. 3x plus 2y equals 22. 3x plus 2y equals 22, right? So let's do the third line now. Okay, 0, 0. Okay, but there's another point we don't know what to find, right? Y equals 5 or 4x. Okay, the y already single. Let's just think about what x value I can put here. Okay, let's try to put 8, right? So what happens if I put 8? So if let's say I put 8, so it'll be y equals 5 or 4 times 8. Okay, is this good? Okay, 4 and 8 cut, left with 2, 2 times 5, 10. So if my x is 8, my y is 10. So I think can, right? You can plot this point easily, right? So yeah, let's use this point 0, 0, 8, 10. So let's plot 0, 0 is here. And then 8, 10 is here. And then use pembaris panjang. Join these 2 points like this. Yep, good enough. So this is the equation y equals 5 over 4x. Okay, let's go back to the page. 5 over 4x. 5x plus 5y, 7y, 35. Just trying to make sure I label everything correctly. 3x plus, okay, yeah, betul. Yep, so now we can lorate. So when we lorate, we have to look at this inequality symbol. So this one is smaller, this one is bigger, this one is bigger. So smaller, bigger, bigger. So smaller, bigger, bigger. So smaller, bigger, bigger, start from 3x. So smaller, smaller, bigger, bigger. And then this one is, what is the last one? I forgot. The last one is bigger, right? Smaller, bigger, bigger. Smaller, bigger, bigger. So smaller, smaller, bigger, bigger, and then the last line also bigger. So very obvious lah, which one is the answer. The overlap part is this one, right? So this is the shaded region. Did they ask you to label R? So use a scale of 2 cm to 1 unit, construct and shade the region R which satisfy above constraint. So you have to label R here. So label R and then shade lah. So let's write a big R here, and then later I will shade. And of course, all these arrow you have to erase, right? So let's erase this. This one have to erase. This one have to erase. I have to erase, erase, erase. Okay, so now you know your R. Now it's time to shade, 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 shade. Okay, be careful not to shade. How to say? Not to shade until it's like this side, right? You cannot shade until this part, right? Because they mentioned already, other than x bigger 0 and y bigger 0. It means everything has to be on the first quadrant. So you cannot load it until here. Okay, so that's, yeah, this is the part B. Now we can do the final part, which is part C. Okay, use the graph constructed in B to answer the following question. Question number 1. Find the range of chair Q. Okay, chair Q. Q is X or Y? Tengok balik sini lah. Q is Y. So you are trying to find the range of Y, right? It means you want the Y minimum and Y maximum. Okay, and then you will write in this format. Y in between, you write the minimum number here, the maximum number here. This is what it means by range. Okay, find range of chair Q if 3 units of chair P are produced. So chair P must be X then, when X equals 3, right? So if they want you to find Q, then they will they will need to give me P, right? So they give me P is 3, right? So P is X lah. So when X equals 3, find the Y minimum and Y maximum. Remember, they can only ask 3. 3 saja dia boleh tanya. They either ask you minimum, maximum, or range. Alright, but if they ask to range, it means you need to find both minimum and maximum. So let's go to the graph and cari X equals 3 and find the Y minimum, Y maximum. So if Y equals to 3, X equals to 3, you will tarik satu dotted line from here, but you will use ruler. And the moment you sentuh the shaded region, it means the first contact point with the shaded region, that is when you will put a dot and then tarik to the y-axis. And this will be the minimum, the y minimum, because it's the first contact point with the shaded region. But if you want maximum, you will keep going until the last contact point with shaded region, which is here. Then only you tarik sini. You understand? Because you cannot keep going already. Because if you keep going, there's no shaded region already, right? So remember, minimum means the first contact point with the shaded region, you tarik. Maximum means you go until the last contact point with the shaded region, then you tarik, right? Okay, I think I didn't draw nicely because I never use ruler, so actually it's lebih kurang here. Okay, so what would be the minimum? It would be like maybe 3.7 like that, right? But the XY represents number of chair. Do you think it's possible to, how to say, to produce like 3.7 chair? It's not possible, right? It must be a whole number. It must be an integer, right? So definitely we will choose the number that is closer to this point, but it has to be inside the shaded region. So you can't choose 3. Definitely cannot, because it's outside the shaded region. So the only point to choose here is 4, right? Because it's not possible to produce 3.7 chairs. That's why you have to round it off lah, basically. So that's why it becomes 4 chair. So the 4 will be the minimum. You faham maksud saya? It means the minimum you have to take 4. You cannot write 3.7. So this is 4. And then what about the maximum? Okay, let's go to the graph. I will show you how to take the maximum. So maximum is this one, right? Okay, if you look at this, this is like 6.1234, maybe 6.4. But how is it possible to produce 6.4 number of chairs, right? So if it's number of chairs, we have to choose a new number. Okay, why cannot choose 7? You tell me lah, why cannot choose 7? Because 7 is already outside the shaded region. When x equals to 3, y equals 7, you can have to choose inside the shaded region, right? So that's why you have to choose 6, right? Okay, why not choose 5? 5 also inside the shaded region. Okay, you want maximum. So you will go, the furthest you can go is 6 lah, all right? 7 cannot because it's already outside the shaded region. That's why the one point that is maximum and had to be inside is 6 lah. So that's why the maximum here is 6. So you will end up, the range here is what? The range here is y between 4 and 6. And make sure you write the small number in front, the big number at the back. So the range here is 4, 6. Okay? So that's the answer, right? Okay, for my final part, second question. Find the maximum profit per day if the profit obtained from 1 unit of P, 1 unit of K is 16 ringgit, 10 ringgit. So what will be the profit then? The total profit will be what? 16x plus 10y, right? Because for chair P got x unit, for chair Q got y unit, so the total profit is 16x plus 10y. And now you will rewrite this equation, but you will choose a number here to write here, and you can choose any number, but you have to choose the I always choose the LCM. What is LCM? The lowest common multiple. Okay, what is the lowest common multiple of 16 and 10? Okay, 16 times 1 is 16, cannot divide 10. 16 times 2 is 32, cannot divide 10. 16 times 3 is 48, cannot divide 10. 16 times 4 is 64, cannot divide 10. 16 times 5 is 80, 80 can divide 10. So the lowest common multiple here is 80. Right? Lowest common multiple means gandaan sepunya terkecil. Right? So it's 80 lah. And now what you do is you will cari point and plot this line, plot this straight line in the graph. So it's find points lah. X0, Y0. So if X0 80 divide 10 is 8. If Y0 80 divide 16 is 5. So now you plot this point 0850 in the graph. Right? So where 08, I think it's here. Okay. And then 50, I think it's here. And instead of using a straight line, you will use dotted line, right? But it's very hard for me because I don't have because I'm using laptop. So how? Okay. So use dotted line. So okay, I think I won't use ruler lah. But you make sure you use ruler in your graph paper. So it should be a straight line, and you use dotted line like this, right? And don't forget to write the equation. The equation is 16x plus 10y equals 80. Okay, let's go back there. Let's go back to the soalan and see what they want. Do they want the maximum or minimum? They want the maximum profit. So let's try to find the maximum profit now. So what is the maximum profit? It will be 16x plus 10y. And now we have to find the xy coordinate. Okay, remember, if they want maximum means you will choose which one. Okay, let's look at the graph. Okay, remember this. Jawapan mesti berada dekat bucu. Jawapan mesti berada dekat bucu. What do I mean by that? Jawapan mesti berada dekat bucu means the answer will always be at the corner of the shaded region. What do we mean by corner? This one is corner. This one is corner. This one is corner. This one is corner. So only one of these can be the answer. Alright? You faham maksud saya? Because it's not possible for the answer to be like somewhere in between here. The answer will always be at the corner of the shaded region. Right? So one of these will be the maximum profit. Tapi which one saya ambil? I have to put a ruler. I have to use two rulers. One ruler, I'll place it here so that it's like this ruler is like along the dotted line, and then place another ruler down here. All right. And then what you do is you slide this ruler until the last corner dia jumpa. All right. So if you push this ruler until here, you will realize there's still plenty of shaded region here. That's why this cannot be the maximum. So you have to push until the last bucu, the last contact point with the shaded region, which is this point, right? That is why the point we will use for my working is this point, right? Is this point. So what you do is, do like just now, like I mentioned just now, put two rulers and then you push the ruler until here. And then this is where you draw the line, right? And this line and this line, they will be parallel. Because if you push slowly like this, you will realize this is parallel, right? And this is the point I choose lah. So let's label this point. What do we call this point? 4, 5, right? So x is 4, y is 5. So this is the point that I will ganti inside the profit equation. So 16 times x, which is 4, y is 5. And then you press this whole thing inside the calculator, and then you will get the answer. So my calculator give me 114. So the answer is RM114. Okay, let me just double check one more time. Is it because I don't want to, because I takut salah. So 4, 5. Yeah, correct. Right? So remember, jawapan mesti berada dekat bucu. Okay, 15 I won't do it because this is kinematic. So yeah, sudah siap. Bye bye. See you next video.